Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing?
But shitty.
That's good. That's good.
You didn't hear what I said, did you?
Something about that's easy or that's city?
I said shitty.
Oh, well, what's wrong?
Nothing. I'm just not a very optimistic person, as you well know.
Just crippled and fat?
Yeah, but I got two balls.
All right, Carbon. What's up? What's up, Carbon? How you doing?
What's up, man? God dang, I hate when this program does this.
You guys ready for the art preview section before we move on to the jumbotron?
Nah, nigga.
Who wants to go first?
No matter.
All right, let's do Carbon. We'll go from the bottom up. We'll do Carbon first.
Damn, I was gonna go first.
All right, Carbon, I'm about to give you the solo layout, man.
All right.
All right, hold on. Wait, let me change something real quick. For some reason, this is
What the what do you do,
got
bro?
us in the circle. There we go.
Yeah. I made a couple of things this week. I made this last night. This is Marth from Fire Emblem. He's one of the main characters. This is him right here.
Enunciate. I barely made out anything you just said right there.
You heard completely what I said.
No, I didn't. I did
yes,
not.
you did, bro.
No, I didn't.
So this is Marth, a main character from the Fire Emblem series.
Okay. All right. Can you zoom in a little bit so we can see his face and stuff? Okay. Yeah, I see you starting to develop your style, man. Looking
I don't
good.
know what you mean by that. I mean, it's just
Like the way you do your noses and stuff like that. But it's looking good.
I mean, it's kind of hard. I mean, I have to make a nose since I'm doing it. So I'm not really going to stylized draw. I kind of have to make a more realistic nose. There's probably better ways I can go about doing it, but I need to do something instead of nothing, you know?
Looks good to me. I like it.
And I actually got another one to show because I did 2 head sculpts so far.
Okay. Good facial expression.
This was the one I was working on last time.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
And then I also did some work on that dragon character too.
Or your OC, your original character.
Yeah. I'm definitely not done with the outfit. I just made something. I'm just playing around with that character, so I definitely got a lot of work to do on that one. Hopefully this one has the textures. Hopefully this is like, wow. These things take forever to load. But yeah, I got a lot of work to do in the clothing. I'm just playing around right now, you know.
She's a goth dragon girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the textures on the wings. Yeah, it looks good, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, man,
I really went in and sculptured a lot of detail on the.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks really good.
I also made, where is that? Some dragon legs. I probably got to retexture it to make it red instead of black. I made some of the dragon legs too, you know.
Oh wow, yeah, it looks good. That looks good. So she could transform into more of a dragon type creature.
Yeah, I mean, people like this kind of stuff in VR chat, so I'm trying to add more. You know, I'm trying to go further with this character than I went with the last one.
Okay. Okay.
So.
Yeah, man, it looks good. I like the tech. What program did you do the texture in? Is that Blender too? Did you use like a?
No, I'm using Substance Painter.
Substance Painter. Okay.
The clothes I was playing around. I don't really know what I want to do with the clothes. I have no clue. I'm just playing around.
Yeah, I think that's the weakest part so far.
Yeah.
Is the?
But I've never been good at clothing design and especially the color. I've never been good at that. I'm like, I don't know how to do that. So I'm just playing around.
Yeah, but I mean, but it's a good start as far as the clothing. That's a good base.
Yeah. I think I might have made a couple of the outfits since you've last seen. I don't know if you've seen the other outfits or whatnot. Because I made this one. You had the freaking legs. I was saying I was duplicate the shoe over at some point. Because I was like, it's not fully textured. This one, that's a.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you may want to sit down and just kind of sketch out some rough ideas for how you want the clothing to be. Right now, it does look a little generic. I like this one. I like this part the best. I like this one the best, though.
I'm just making outfits. This is fun. I don't know what I'm going for. Like, so my clothing thing is the worst part. So I turn the body off. It's you just switch this to this one. Yeah.
Okay, no, this is actually the best one so far. I think that's the best design one so far. Can you put the texture back on that one?
I mean, it's not a real texture. It's just it's a fake texture because I haven't UV'd this outfit yet.
Oh,
so it's not done yet. So it's a false texture. It's just some glitch basically.
Yeah, I see. Put a little bit of red down in the belt area. Looks good.
I mean, it's not a real texture. It's just a glitch because of the material.
Doesn't look like it's supposed to be there though. For some reason, it looks right.
I mean, it's not supposed to be there. It's just taking the UVs to the other.
I know.
Material.
What I'm saying though is that looks good. I would incorporate that into the final design.
But yeah, I did a lot this week.
Yeah, it looks good, man. Looks good.
Oh yeah, this character, I don't fully know. I'm just playing around. I had this character. I have no clue. Yeah, so clothing design's a weaker aspect. I definitely got to talk to my mentor about that at some point. I feel like I got a lot better at faces, but I'm like, how do I actually design a character? Now I'm like good at faces, but what about the rest of the character? He said the face is the most important part, but I'm like, what about the clothes? I mean, I feel like there's a lot of characters who have the same face, but the clothes and hair make them look different than all the other characters, especially when it comes to anime, right? Isn't clothing more important in anime than a face? Because don't a lot of anime characters have the same face?
Yeah, but if you can't make it look like an anime face, then
yeah, I guess. Yeah, I'll definitely have to bring clothing up next month when I talk to him again, because that's, I would say, one of my big struggle points personally. At least color. I can kind of come with a good coordination, but coloring, I don't know how to color outfits, make them look good and unique. I don't know how to do that.
All right, let's move on to.
But yeah, I won't hog it up. I can hog this up forever.
Moving on to Limping on Sunshine.
Oh, y'all done talking?
Yeah, what's up? What you working on, man? It looks good.
Just something I started doing today.
Looks like biker mice from Mars. Yeah, your cartooning is actually pretty good, man.
Well, when I'm sitting down at work ignoring people, you got time to do it. But yeah, I just started sketching this out. I actually got a chance to walk around and do photos this week. So I'm gonna next show I'm gonna have some layers with some of my panels with photos on it, and I took a really good picture of the moon the other night. So,
are you using your cell phone for the camera?
Yeah, my phone got to like times 100 zoom, so I'm good on that.
Is this going to be a character in the comic?
Nah, it's just something. You get kind of burnt out doing the same thing over and over and over again. So I just wanted to just put some more stuff out there.
Yeah, I kind of did the same thing. I was like, I'll work on some sketches this week instead.
Oh, yeah. You gotta make sure to get ready for. Everybody is saying that the movie's gonna be pretty good, so hopefully it leaves up to the hype.
We'll get to that. Focus on your art. Like, is there anything else you wanted to tell us about it?
Nah, nigga, what you get?
Okay. All right. Well, we'll move on to me. I tried something new this week, and I'm drawing on my books.
Oh, yeah, you've been talking about that thing, that like iPad thing.
No, you talking about that little white tablet thing you showed me that you read on? Are you alive? Talk.
Damn, his mic. Are you kidding me, bro? Bro, you always be doing this, man.
You want me to get him a shit at you?
I mean, I'm assuming he can hear us the way he's acting.
Oh, Uniball up there, dropping the ball again. No, he's still running his mouth. You can't hear me.
Oh, there he goes. There he goes. I don't know what happened with my audio.
Oh, Uniball dropping the ball again.
I don't know. I don't know what my audio just dropped out. But anyway, I've been working on my my books tablet, but I have it screencasting to the computer, so you can look at what I'm drawing on while I'm drawing on it. So it's pretty cool. But I didn't realize you could get this amount of fidelity on an e-ink device. But this is one of the newer ones that has 300 DPI. But I've been having a lot of fun with it. Just kind of like drawing and sketching and shading and stuff like that. And it's pretty smooth. Like you can take like say if I take this pencil brush here and I increase the size, right? And then I kind of like do some quick sketching or like shading like this.
Uncle David is aware we can hear him clearly, right?
It is what it is, man.
Why is he not on the podcast?
Because he's doing something else.
He needs to be on the podcast. We need our elder statesman.
He wouldn't even have anything to show. Like, he didn't do art like that.
But like, if I take the blender tool, right, and I take my like finger, you can kind of like blend it in. Let's see if is it working. Or maybe if I increase the size.
Not doing nothing, bro. I know what you're
I gotta increase the size on it.
Man, I saw that thing. I was like, that's cool.
See how I was blending it in? Remember how we used to do this when we would draw?
Because we can't afford all that.
I hated that so much.
Blend with your finger. But that's pretty cool. That's all digital.
Charcoal, man. Freaking charcoal.
Yeah. So yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with this. It's like having a sketch pad, but without all the mess, or having a tool. It's like having a sketch pad and a digital thing together. And it even has like a rough texture when you draw, so it's pretty cool. But yeah, erase that and we'll get started. Alrighty. Okay, so let's move on to the show, and we'll put our first thing up here on the jumbotron. The first thing we're going to look at is the Lazarus trailer, the Lazarus anime trailer. I think it's a new Netflix show, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, it's on HBO Max.
I thought it was Netflix.
He's not wrong.
Okay. All right, so let me share my screen here.
Examples of automation. These are trio examples. Technical concerns.
Okay. I will pause the music. We'll watch our first trailer here.
Job organization impact.
You guys let me know if you can't hear it.
I can hear Uncle David.
Is that the right one? It's the wrong one. I'm sorry, I had the wrong one.
I'll bring it up later. Where it's just
there we go.
About 4 years ago, a man named Dr. Skinner developed a miracle painkiller known as Hopna.
As a matter of fact, I did not develop Hopna to act as a mere painkiller.
And as it turned out, Hopna was a grand trap that he set upon us all.
3 years after ingestion, Hopna will mutate,
killing all those who have taken it.
But you should all know that I currently have the cure. You have 30 days. So unless you find me within that time, hope will be lost forever.
Yo, Skinner. You see me in there? Remember this face. I'm coming after you. Your ass is mine.
Who the hell are those people?
We call ourselves Lazarus.
It's go time! We're here to save the world.
So basically, we're superheroes.
I found Dr. Skinner. It looks like there are thousands of him.
I swear Skinner is the devil incarnate.
And I suppose that makes us the angels that are gonna kick his ass back to hell.
Do I have clearance to use an assault rifle?
You're authorized to use anything.
Are you actually enjoying this?
It's that obvious.
DEA, FBI! Lazarus! What's Lazarus?
We're superheroes.
He's totally out of his mind.
From anime legend Shinichiro Watanabe, Lazarus premieres April 5th at midnight in Toonami, next day on Max.
All right, so
Okay, good.
I'll say this, man. I watched the first episode for this, and like the trailer said, that it is a show that was done by the creator of Cowboy Bebop, and I don't know, man. Like I didn't hate it. But it seemed kind of derivative. It seemed like it was trying to be Cowboy Bebop. Wait, did this thing? Okay, yeah. It seemed like it was trying to be Cowboy Bebop, but it didn't really. It's like a stale version of it. And to be fair, it's only one episode. I'm going to give it, a few more episodes to see if it kind of can find its, its own kind of like story or it has its own story. Like the story's okay, it's somewhat compelling, but to see if it can find its own identity. But overall, it was okay. Like I didn't like the 3D aspects, even though I will say they integrated it pretty well. But I'm getting to that point now, man, where it's like if you're not doing something special with the 3D and merging it with 2D, then I don't know, it's kind of lame. It's just kind of lame looking. But overall, it wasn't like too bad. It wasn't nearly as bad as Batman Ninja. But overall, I thought it was okay. I'm gonna keep watching it, see where it goes. What'd you guys think?
I'm on the same boat with you. I mean, I like the Cowboy Bebop feel. It kind of gets me back to high school Toonami days. But other than that, the 3D art it's kind of wonky at times. I thought a couple scenes wonky, but it's still, like you said, it's still the first episode. So if it continues to improve, because they usually put their A game on the climax episode. If we get to the point where it's like, oh damn, I'll be there with you, but I'm not at that point.
What's up with the main character? Does he have like some kind of like enhancements? He's about as agile as Spider-Man.
Yeah, I don't know. I know when he was jumping off roofs, I'm like, man, what the hell? But to be honest with you, that's one of the aspects I do like. I like but
you don't think he's just like a
I know he was locked up for some reason. I don't think they really revealed why.
You don't think he's kind of like a simulacrum of Spike?
He sounds like he is. He definitely is. Like
I guess my only thing about this, it just seems kind of derivative. Like we've seen this before. Yeah.
Well, the only problem I have with what you just said is this: it's from the same creator, so that basically means he's copying his own work.
Yeah, but that doesn't excuse it. Like, it's kind of.
I'm not. That's not an excuse for it. That's basically me agreeing with you. Like, basically, you're copying your own work. Like,
I gotta build a data set.
I haven't seen anything that gives me when I first watched the trailer, I got feelings of Ed with the girl with the computers, the hacker girl. There's a couple little characters that can take Faye's place, like the one blonde, of course. But other than that, not too bad. It's still early. So before we like cast it down into the depths of hell, let's give it enough episodes to see where we put it.
Yeah, I will, and I will say like the background art when it's painted, it is good. The 2D animation is pretty good. The character designs are good, even though I think they're kind of boring. But I mean, they look good. And it does kind of harken back to the early 2000s type of style, more realistic style when it comes to the anime characters. I don't know. It's overall, I was just kind of bored with it. But the first episode wasn't horrible. It wasn't horrible. But yeah, I agree. I'll keep giving another. I'll give it a shot. You know, I won't just kind of like write it off.
I just don't want another Ninja Kamui situation.
Yeah.
That let me down.
Yeah, that was horrible. And it began so good too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
all right, Carmen, what did you think of the trailer? Because I know you didn't watch the first episode.
I mean, I guess it seems like it'd definitely be interesting. I mean, I guess the basic story idea is interesting, I guess.
Excuse me.
And all the animation was pretty good. You know, I mean, I may or may not watch it, but I mean, it seemed interesting enough.
Yeah, the basic setup for the plot it's not bad. I didn't like the exposition dump in the beginning. Well, a lot of anime does that just to kind of get to it, you know, get to the story, get to what's going on. I don't know. We'll see. I just think it's kind of boring, but I'll keep watching, and hopefully it'll get better over time. All right, let's move on to the next one, which is I think is a Chinese anime.
Chinese.
And we'll check this out. Let's see. All right. All right, hold on a sec. Let me get my I need a producer. All right, here we go.
信頼値がヒーローを生み出す世界では誰もがヒーローになることができる。どんな汚い手を使おうが完璧に対処してみせる。
今の僕は一人じゃない。何千人もの信頼を背負っている。
彼女を守るためにスーパーヒーローになってやる。
間違いを犯すこともある。普通の人間になりたい。だってそれが本当の私だから。私はヒーローロリ。正義を貫き悪を成敗する。
泣きたい時は思い切り泣け。泣いた後は笑顔が希望を引き寄せるってことを思い出すんだ。
俺が手にかけるのは殺されても仕方がない連中だけだ。
ゴミは片付けないとな。
俺はてめえの汚え面を拝みに来たんじゃね
え。X は私たち凡人の称号、そして未来の持つ可能性への承継。いつの日か私がその冠をいただく。
こんな夜中まで働かされるなんて勘弁してくれ。ここはお前の出る幕じゃない。
All right. So, what'd you guys think of that? You done, Uncle Dave?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tear it up, man.
Okay.
Tell them, curse them out.
The animation was definitely pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, all the colors are really good and everything. I don't really know what the story's about.
Well, it's out. You can watch the first episode, and I'll have to say I watched the first episode a couple of days ago.
If they don't even dub that thing, bro, I'm not watching, bro. I'm sorry, bro. I ain't watching this stuff.
Is it dubbed? I think it is dubbed. Yeah, I watched it dubbed.
Okay, I was going to say that.
I'll put it this way: this anime is essentially Spider-Verse, except in a show. Like they merged 2D and 3D. It's mostly a 3D show. Well, at least the first episode was mostly 3D, but it looks good. It was like painted textures. Like it's very stylized, and it looks really good. So what doesn't make any sense to me, Carbon, though, is when we were arguing about Batman Ninja and why it looked like crap, and you were like, well, it's so hard to do. I'm like, okay, why can this This show
doesn't mean it was easy. This thing took probably way longer than Batman Ninja. When they done that in a couple months, when it probably took a couple years to make. Like doing this takes. I'm telling you, it's hard, bro. Do you want to try doing it yourself? Okay. No. Let's see you make. Let's see you make a 3D character with fully painted texture. That's way more complicated than doing the regular PBR route, bro. I'm sorry, it's more complicated.
I think it's
more complicated.
I think it's bad art direction. I think that
no bad art direction. It's just it's more complicated, and it takes a way bigger team to do that, bro.
I think it's laziness. They just threw some SketchUp textures on there.
There's just different art styles, bro. They're literally different. Not every art style has to be a 10 out of 10, amazing animation, amazing perfect artwork. I'm like, bro, that's why these animators are so overworked and not getting paid anything, bro. Are killing these animators, man.
Even the animation was better. See, like if the textures and stuff didn't look that good, but the animation was like really smooth in the Batman Ninja, like okay, I'll give it a pass or whatever. At least they did a really good job of animation. Animation was stiff. The textures looked bad. The 3D modeling was horrible. You know what I'm saying? But look, like when I saw this, I was like, man, this looks really good. The basic premise of the story is that they haven't really explained it yet, but they got like these like jewels or something. Like this character right here, I think he's the main character. Let me see if I can find a better image of him.
Yeah, but I say make that one of your projects for this year to make a whole character like this.
This character right here, he has like his name is Nice. That's his superhero name is Nice. But he has like this. They have like these jewels, and the more trust you gain from the population, the more powerful you become. So it's kind of like Green Lantern's like willpower ring, or what's the character?
Gladiator.
Like his belief in himself is what fuels his power. So he has Superman level power, or whatever. So but it's interesting, like it's a little kind of like, I would say, cheap, kind of tacky way of doing things, but overall I enjoyed it. I had a lot more fun watching this than Lazarus. And it is dubbed, because I will say when I watch Chinese anime, I don't like hearing the Chinese voices. It just don't sound good to me. Like Japanese language.
I don't listen to anything that's not dubbed. I'm not watching anime. It's not dubbed. Sorry, I'm not.
I'll watch it I'll watch sub if it's in Japanese, but I
don't watch sub. I'm sorry, it's not.
I just can't.
I refuse to watch sub.
Yeah, let me see. I don't know if you guys can see that
dub is always
jewel on his chest. You get a better version right here. And I'm not going to say everything that happens, because I will say some crazy stuff does happen in that first episode, and it's not as put it this way, it can get bloody, and it has some somewhat dark themes too. So it looks pretty and flashy, but it's actually kind of a dark anime after I watched that first episode. So definitely, I think this is a definite watch. You should definitely check this out. Just stylistically, I just think it do a good. As a matter of fact, when we watched the trailer, they didn't show that much 3D in it, but I'm assuming this is going to be mostly a 3D show, because almost the entire first episode was 3D, and then in parts they were doing 2D. I mean, it looked a lot like how Beyond the Spider-Verse looked, or Into the Spider-Verse, whatever. Spider-Verse.
That's a hard style to achieve. I'm talking. It just is. It's not easy.
Speaking of Spider-Verse, did y'all hear that movies
getting
held
delayed?
Off for a while?
You know why I'm getting delayed?
we already talked about it last podcast, but remember you had to leave early, so you didn't know.
Yeah,
you didn't hear.
Yeah, they making their animators do too much. They treat it like trash.
Yeah, they should have paid him. They should have paid him.
I just realized something, Carter. I'm gonna call you. You like to defend shit. Let's put it that way. Because I still don't know what the hell you're talking about. That Batman Ninja. That shit was trash from beginning to the end.
I'm not saying it's the best thing in the world, but you're acting like it's the worst thing in the world when it's not. It's just okay.
It's pretty bad.
Like, it's just okay. Like, sometimes you gotta accept some shows and movies just gonna be okay, bro. Not every show and movie can be the best animated show in the world, bro. That's just not reality. And when you try to make these animated, bro, that's when you end up with some of these situations of what's going on with Spider-Verse, where it has to be delayed a crazy amount because you guys want the best in the world. Like, bro, you remember, there's still real people who make this stuff, man, and that's why.
And you, my young friend, like to defend straight bullshit.
I'm not fully defend. I'm just saying it's okay. sometimes we're just gonna have okay movies and okay shows. This is gonna happen. Not everything out of 10.
The point of a critique is to critique garbage, not make excuses.
I'm just being honest. Some things gotta be okay. I'm just saying it's okay. You act like I'm saying like it's the best movie. No, it just looks okay.
No, it looks bad.
It's okay.
It is.
Defense to the defenseless, huh?
It's okay. Good Lord, man.
It was. I'm sorry. It just wasn't okay. It looked really bad.
It was
really
okay.
Really, really bad.
Since we're on the subject, DC like used to be the creme de la creme as far as superhero animations, because they used to crank out stuff. And remember when Marvel used to put out stuff like, "What the fuck is this?" And then DC would put out something like, "Damn, this is great." You remember Superman versus what was the one where he fighting all the British guy.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. I can't remember the name of that one. But when Superman pretending like he had gone,
yeah,
not like, evil, man, but like he was like not holding back.
Yeah, but yeah, it didn't look the best, but it like fit. It looked good enough for you to really like, man, DK, this is pretty good. It's watchable. That Batman Ninja thing, I'm like, okay, they just
it was
wall.
Yeah, it was unwatchable. It was unwatchable. All right, let's move on to
you guys. I'm not just saying the most 3D stuff. You guys prefer 2D over 3D in the first? That's the thing.
This right here was mostly 3D, and I loved it.
I said it's a most.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't mind 3D.
Like, if it's not to the highest level, like, nah, it's automatically trash. If they try to do 3D,
I don't mind.
You guys only want it to the highest level, like Spider-Verse and whatnot. But I'm like, not everybody had the budget or the skill team to do that, bro. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Something
hold on.
I like look myself. I'm like, yo, it's a lot harder.
If you don't got standard. Hold on.
Look, you guys can't talk. You can't talk over each other. Let Carmen finish a complete thought, then let somebody else get in. Go ahead, Demetrius.
If you don't have the budget or the skill or the will to put out good product, don't do it.
That's what I'm saying.
So are you telling me I should just quit then? Just be an artist then? Because I don't have the skill and I don't have the budget? Is that what you're saying?
Hold on. Are you trying to sell your product to mass to mass people?
No, but if people are willing to buy it, then they buy it. Like, if people are willing to buy it, then I'm like, you gonna give them what they want.
But you're currently working on your craft. Would you just put out straight shit and just expect people to take it how it is, or would you like to put out quality artwork?
I mean, I would prefer to put out quality, but I mean that's not always the reality of what happens.
Hey, we're live, so I can't say what I want to say, but just know it goes with shut the up. You just proved my point.
Sometimes some more mediocre looking stuff can be popular. We'll be honest with you. That's possible, and it has happened plenty of times, especially in recent times. Especially when you start talking about games.
Oh, games. That's a whole different.
That is the worst critique I have ever heard. Look, man, just evaluate something for what you think it is. Yeah, like if you like it, just say you like it. But all this, it's not that bad. It's okay. You gotta.
It's okay. Saying okay is a critique. What do you mean? It doesn't have to be the best or worst thing in the world.
You gotta think about the artist. You gotta think about that. You gotta think. No, look. Do you like it or do you not like it?
It's okay. Yeah, like I watched the movie. I saw the trailer. I went from the trailer. I was like, it's okay. It's not the best or worst thing I've ever seen.
I don't believe that because you're always like this middle of the road type of guy. Like, oh, it's just okay. You can't evaluate it like that because you're gonna hurt their feelings and blah blah blah. Get the hell out of here.
I never
said
like
shit. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. It looks like shit. It looks like shit. Come on, let's just be honest.
It's just okay. Like it's not the worst looking thing I've ever seen.
All right, we're gonna.
If I put out hold on. If I put out shitty artwork, because that's part of the critique at the beginning of the show, right? I don't know your craft, but I'm gonna sit there and say, hey, that looks pretty good. You're working on it. It looks good. I don't expect you to come out here and say, oh, we're all friends, so it looks good. No, if my shit looks like shit, tell me it looks like shit, and I need to go back to the drawing board.
I also gave him some valid critiques. Like, okay, I think the clothing is the weakest part, but everything else I think looks pretty good. You know what I'm saying? I didn't just say, okay, look, it looks okay. You know, I think it looks pretty good. I think you're doing a good job. You know, I think you've made a lot of progression. And so when we're watching something that costs 18 million, like they have a budget of 18 million freaking dollars, 18 million. That's what they produce. I'm sorry. I don't. That's not okay. It looks like trash. It looks like garbage. I'm sorry. But let's move on. Let's move on to the next trailer. And this one is actually they're working on a Predator animation.
And it's 3D, so hold on. Carbon. Make sure to get your wet wipes.
I already saw the trailer, but like, that still goes to my point. Not every show or movie is going to be the best. How many times do I have to say that, bro?
I'm just saying, get your wet wipes.
Has the team or the budget to make the best looking thing, even when it comes to 3D, bro. I'm sorry, it's just not the reality.
I'm just saying, man, get your wet wipes because it's 3D. Because you know you got a hard on for 3D stuff.
God,
because I'm a 3D artist. I be saying it because you guys are almost biased almost every 3D thing we've
seen.
I am not. You guys be saying no to most of them. You guys be saying no unless it's the highest.
No, I am not.
No, you guys have literally. We can go back to multiple podcasts. If it's 3D, you guys have said no to majority of them.
No,
let's say like Spider-Verse, like Guilty Gear level, bro. I'm being honest here.
That's not true.
They try, like I said, they try to imitate 2D and they're not doing it to the highest level. You're gonna be like, that's trash.
That's not true. What we've been saying is that the 2D. This is what we're both mostly been saying on the show. That when you have a 2D show and you implement 3D aspects in it, it's usually done very lazily. Now, even you would have to agree with that, Carbon.
I mean, yeah.
That's all we're saying. That's all we're saying. It's not like we have this like intrinsic bias against 3D. Look, if it's 3D, it looks good. I'm going to say it looks good. In fact, I would prefer if you're going to do 3D, just make the whole thing 3D. Just make it look good. Batman Ninja did not look good. It looked like trash, like absolute trash. I'm sorry. It looked like garbage. Whereas that new thing, Hero X or whatever, I'll even say this. I'm not a big fan of how the 3D Clone Wars looks. But I have to give him credit. It looked a lot better near the end of the series than it did when it first began. Yeah,
because me and G-Flux actually went and saw the movie in the theaters.
Yeah, that shit was horrible.
It was horrible.
It was horrible. You know? Again, like I think with 3D, I think what happens is people get lazy. And they forget, like, hey, I think so. I think what happens because look, you still have to style. You have to make some kind of style. Like you know, love it or hate it, Pixar made a style. You know what I'm saying?
But that's the easiest style to do. Like the 3D programs are built around that style. If you try to do tune chain or stylize,
because
you have to break the engine to make it look that way. Like the default engines in 3D limited, are not designed to do that kind of stuff.
But we also know because they were limited with the technology they had. But it's still they use the techniques and the technology they did have to create a particular looking style, and they stuck with it. And overall, it looks pretty good. I'll give you another good example. Remember that show called was it called Reboot?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like now I guess you look at it looks like trash, but back then I'll have to say like I like what they did. I liked
it blew us away. I mean, it was a good story and everything.
Yeah, they had limitations, but they created a certain style with those limitations. Now it's like you have all the tools at your disposal, and you got $18 million, and you create Batman Ninja. Like what? What's going on?
Well, give me the $18 million. You want something to look like trash?
Yeah, what's going on? That's all we're saying. It's like, you know, just because you make something in 3D, just because something's hard, doesn't mean we're not going to critique it. It looks like shit. I'm sorry, it looks like shit. I'm not going to say it's okay. It looks like garbage. Anyway, let's move on to this. I actually haven't seen this trailer yet. Let's see.
Try again. Shit.
Before we continue, there's one thing I want to say about just that one shot and why I already like it despite it being 3D. Like you could tell they took frames out to give it more of like a claymation or 2D look. You know what I'm saying? That's the kind of thing, like people were having fun with it and experimenting with it now. They could have done that in the past, you know. They really could have actually done it. That's not some new technique you could have used. But they weren't being creative. Why? They were being freaking lazy. Being lazy, you know. This already looks better than Batman Ninja. like light years ahead. Oh.
You're old enough now. It's time I tell you about the monster. We must kill it, or it will kill us all.
Right. I have to say that looked pretty good, man. So what is it going to be, like an anthology type of series where you like
Yeah.
each episode takes place in a different
Yeah.
part of time when the predators come in and mess with
Mhm.
somebody?
Yep.
Yeah, it looks good. Looks good. You could tell Spider-Verse movies have really inspired a lot of people to push the envelope on this, because this, again, this kind of reminded me of the To Be Your Hero X type of look where they're merging 3D and 2D, but it's mostly 3D. Um, yeah, man, it looks good. What'd you guys think?
I like it. I'm a fan of the Predator franchise, but I do like it, and I like the fact that they're actually moving forward without moving forward, expanding anything that expands lore is always I'm always a fan of. And to be honest, I have to agree with you. What you said about all the 80s and 90s movies, they always just some of them just need to die. But as long as they can try to find something fresh, keep it moving, I'm all for it. At least try. A lot of these studios don't even try anymore. They just say, "Oh, well, this formula worked before. Let's put it back."
Yeah, and I've said it before. I think concepts like Predator and Alien, you can get away with getting maybe two good movies, maybe a third movie by kind of like going back to the first movie and kind of basically redoing it with new characters. But once the mystery is over, it's kind of like, all right, well, you're just rehashing the same old territory, and that's what I fear about this right here. If I did watch something like this, it would just be to see how good they do the animation and the artwork. Because I don't think there's really any room left. I don't think there's any stories left to tell with this.
Well,
You know what I'm saying?
well, with the last Predator movie, not the last one, not Prey, but the one before that, though, it was terrible.
Yeah.
Predator, the Predator. I feel that they had meat on the bone. They just executed it poorly. Like they're like basically gearing up for a war between the humans and the predators, and then it did so badly and it was so poorly executed and poorly received that they didn't have any room to move on to. So for them to be able to try again and go back to the drawing board, I'm all for it.
Well, that's what I think. I don't think there's any place to move to. Where are you going to move to? A war between humans and predators? I mean, how is that even going to play out? It's not even the same type of movie at that point.
I know. But so, like you said, we already know what the predators are about. They come in here to hunt and the greatest prey. They've done that. We've seen that.
That's my point, though. Was like that's the most interesting part is that you didn't know what it was, what was doing it, what his motivation was. And so that's what I say. After the second movie, you kind of know what the creature is. The mystery's gone. Where else can you go? Where else can you go with this?
If I remember correctly, in the Predator, they were trying to set one of the predators that was a hybrid that had human DNA, and they were going to try to convert Earth into another predator planet. But I could be wrong.
Listen to how ridiculous that is.
Yeah,
man. You want to see a movie based on that?
Yeah, not really.
That's so far away from what the first two Predator movies were. That made it so interesting and compelling. That's what I'm saying. Like, let it die. Let it die. Again,
Can I?
I think this looks good, but go ahead. Go ahead.
Can I? I just it's not really anything to say against what you're about to say. I just got to say, Danny Glover is the greatest Predator protagonist there is.
I like that second Predator movie. I know some people don't like it, but I actually really like that second.
Man, I love that movie. Mr. Harry was my hero. All right, who's next? But
Carbon, what'd you think of the trailer?
I mean, it looks good. I mean,
would you give
man?
Huh?
Hey, I G Flux. I honestly think because we're not ragging on this movie, he doesn't have anything to say. If we said, "Man, the 3D sucks," oh well, they got to try. They got this type of budget. This. I think he would have been on one.
There's a whole lot to say. I mean, it looks good. I mean, what do you want me to say?
Would you
like? I've never been crazy about Alien versus Predators. I was like,
yeah, I was about to ask. Would you even bother watching something like this?
Not really. I mean, I've never been crazy about the Alien versus Predator movies, so it's like.
Well, this is an Alien versus Predator.
It looks good, but I'm like,
this is an Alien versus Predator. This is just Predators, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I really think they're trying to let they're still trying to push another Alien movie.
Man, Alien's dead, bro. That franchise is dead. Bro. Alien ain't even
dead.
scary no more, man.
Yeah, I agree. They need to stop. Just stop.
You need to make a new Alien or something because I'm like, the Xenomorph isn't scary no more. I'm sorry, you can't scare nobody with that, bro.
I mean,
man, that's a child's toy at this point. As Xenomorph.
Those last, I didn't see the last movie, but the last two movies that Ridley Scott directed, they were horrible. They were so bad.
Prometheus and what's it? Covenant?
Yeah, Prometheus and Covenant. Those movies were terrible. They were just and I like Ridley Scott. He's one of my favorite directors, but those movies were awful. He's definitely lost his touch. He needs to retire. I mean, the guy's in his 80s. You know what I'm saying? I heard the last Gladiator movie was trash. He just needs to retire.
Well, it was, like I said, the only thing that was good about it was Denzel. But that's Denzel. I hate to say it, he might play the same character in every one of his movies, but he's good in every one of his movies.
I wasn't a big fan of the first Gladiator movie, but
you absolutely hated that movie.
Yeah, I did when it first came out. Like after rewatching it for that show we did, I gained some more respect for it. But overall, I just don't think it's that great of a movie. But I think Predator and Alien need to die. We need some new horror icons. There's plenty of stories out there. They need to take a chance. I like the look of this, but I don't know if I'll be watching it. It just doesn't interest me. I'm gonna let you watch it, Demetrius, and you tell me if it's good.
Why I gotta be tested?
Huh?
Didn't you?
Oh, I thought you were gonna watch it.
I will, but I'm just saying I don't want to be the guinea pig for it.
Oh yeah, you're definitely you're the guinea pig. I like how it looks. Like it looks good, but I wish they would have used this energy and talent on something more compelling. Yeah, that's just me. Maybe it's good. Maybe they will do some interesting stuff. And it'd be much better than what I think it is, but I don't know if I don't know if I'm gonna waste time watching it. Yeah. All right, let's move on to the next and I guess last thing because you never sent me what you wanted to talk about.
I did. I sent it on Discord. What are you talking about? Didn't you tell me to send it?
When you sent it, because I did the preparations for the show hours ago.
I sent it
and I think I
sent it when I get home.
Okay. Can you tell me the name of it? What's the name of it?
The name of the game is called Schedule 1. If you just search for the Schedule 1 guy or whatever.
Schedule.
You want me to send the short real quick? There's a short. But the game, it looks absolutely horrible. But this man's like the second best-selling game on Steam. Don't ask me how, why, I don't know. All I know is this man made millions basically in 1 week.
You said it looks horrible?
You'll see the game. You'll understand. Like the game, I mean, most indie games don't look the best, and I'll be honest with you. But,
yeah. One game?
If you just want to look, you're like, how the world
is there?
I guess the gameplay is cool.
Is there like a trailer for it or something? Okay, Schedule 1 is the best crime simulator new game. Schedule 1 game. Let's see if we can find a trailer. I just need something like it's only 2-3 minutes long.
I mean,
Okay.
since
Yeah, I see a trailer. All right, let's look at this other. Let's look at this other thing first. This is my topic that I wanted to discuss. Remember we tried to do it last show, but for whatever reason, that thing would not play.
Yeah.
It was foretold by our ancestors that in times of great conflict, there will be the chosen who will rise to restore harmony to the people and creatures of Yoruba land.
You are the child who was blessed by the first father. That is the prophecy of the chosen.
Warriors, corrupt leopards!
The inners are terrified because the corrupt are becoming bolder, making them even more dangerous. I know what fear can do to people. That's why I'm training you to use your powers correctly. And that begins with understanding the source.
As the chosen, you have a trinity of powers. Unnatural, natural, and supernatural. They build on each other. So to get to the source, you must master all three.
The chosen cannot reach the source. As long as she breathes, you will always be powerless.
No!
How are we going to get to the source?
To trust each other and work together as a team. Team chosen. Team chosen.
Apple Japa! Happy now? Mango head! You scared Toyi!
Actually, I'm not. You know what's really scary? You're snoring.
I do not snore!
Well.
Okay. What do you guys think?
It's definitely interesting.
It's
a black show. That's
yeah. That's the exact same thing I'm about to say. It's a black show, and it's on Cartoon Network. That's a surprise too.
The fact they made the Cartoon Network, I mean, you got to give this some kind of props to make like a show like black people get on Cartoon Network. I mean, that's kind of crazy.
I mean, this shows on Cartoon Network that this has like a largely black cast or starred a black person. What's that one show
like
called?
Superhero, not to that level. Like,
what's that show called? Something of the Creek. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do. But
black people in American culture, not black people of African
You had a Static Shock.
Static Shock was not on.
That's usually most shows that feature black people, usually American black people, not like African black people.
Yeah, that was my only. Overall, I liked it. I think artistically it looks good. Some of the animation looks a little choppy.
I mean, for a children's TV show, it's pretty good.
But stylistically, I like. I think the character models look good. The colors, the painting, the background, everything looks pretty good. It's just the animation looked a little choppy. It looks like they may be trying to go for like an African Avatar type of thing. That's kind of the vibe that I get from it. This dude right here reminds me of the dude from Captain Planet, the guy with the high top.
That's your powers combined. Yeah.
Overall, I like it. I like it.
What's up? Wind, fire, heart.
I think it's out right now. I haven't watched the first episode yet, but I'll watch the first episode and kind of give my report back on when we do the next show. But yeah, stylistically, man, I like it. I think it's good. It's just a little too on the nose for me. Like, and I guess what I mean by that is, but to be fair, it's Nigerians, and of course it's going to be captured in their culture. So it's not a knock against it. It's just I wish they would have maybe developed it a little further as far as the design of it. But it looks good. I think it looks good overall. Any other thoughts on how you pronounce this? Iyanu?
I guess, man. I don't know.
I like the blue. What is that? A leopard?
Yeah, I don't know what that is, man.
I like the blue leopard.
What?
That's the vibe I'm getting is Avatar, especially with scenes like this.
Well,
And then I'll paste this in here too.
Not bad, not bad. Yeah,
There's a shorts that goes briefly over how much money that guy
this
made.
is pretty cool. So Cartoon Network and HBO Max are together then.
Yeah, didn't Cartoon Network get bought out or something like that? I thought they went bankrupt at one point and they got bought out. I'm pretty sure. I think so. I don't know if that's true, but I think something happened to Cartoon Network. I don't know. I don't know if bankrupt got bought out or they bought somebody. Something big happened with it, like a year or two back.
So was it Iyanu? Was it based on like a comic?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know anything about this character, bro.
Yeah, man.
I remember seeing images of this somewhere. I just don't remember where. Before they, yeah, it looks like it's a comic. Okay. So it has.
Isn't that how most TV shows start from comics and mangas anyway? I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah. So at
Most
least
people don't just like come up to like the studio and be like, "Yo, we're gonna make a whole animation."
Well, sometimes that happens. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes there's no source material. It's completely original. I don't think Avatar: The Last Airbender was in a comic. I think that was original.
Yeah, the comic came after. Yeah, I think that one.
Yeah.
I don't think that happens most of the time. Man.
A lot of what's the guy's name? Gennady Tartarovsky. A lot of his stuff was original. It was made for animation. It didn't have like a source material.
Yeah, in this case, it makes sense that the characters don't even talk most of the time, so you couldn't really make a comic. I mean, I guess you could.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, you can.
There's only one.
No words.
I mean,
there's only one of his shows that had absolutely no talking, and it was dope.
But Primal.
Primal was dope, beginning to end.
Yeah, Primal.
I said a comic, not a show. Usually, comics have talking in it, but the show.
No, you can have a comic. Matter of fact, sequential art it's almost geared for that. Like it almost makes sense to have a comic. What I would say makes sense, but what I'll say is, you could do that relatively easily. Why
aren't more people doing it then?
Well, because that's not the standard format. My point though is that sequential art is a visual medium. You don't need the words if you do it right. In fact, I would say that's probably a signifier on how well you're visually telling a story. If you can lay out a panel and not have the words, and people still kind of, or not a panel, but a page, and people still kind of understand what's going on.
That sounds like a master level, artist level to do that, bro.
I would say most decent comic artists probably have to be on that level.
That's a hard level to get to.
All right, so one of the best comic books I ever read had no words in it. It was Fantastic Four. I don't remember the exact issue, but it was like when Johnny Storm died, and it had no talking through the whole thing. And basically, it's just how you present your plate, like present how a character looks, and their emotion on their face. And if you can do that without words, convey emotion, and still know what's going on.
It's not just the emotion; it's also like how you lay out the sequence.
In the background too,
Yeah, the sequence
where is
of
the character?
Yeah, in the panel. Yeah.
So I'm like, that's in my opinion, a pretty hard thing to do.
All right. Let's see.
I got one more thing. I actually whatever since because I don't know why I didn't think we could do games on this channel. Look at Marvel Cosmic Invasion. I'm a big beat 'em up fan. I always have been.
Well, you're kind of inserting that. Let's do that last. Let's go to the next thing that I already have up. Matter of fact, can you send me a link in the private chat so I don't have to go searching for it?
No.
All right, I guess we're not going to look at it.
I guess not.
Man, go on YouTube and find a link, man. Come on, now. It's not that hard, bro.
You hurt my feelings.
It's
I'm scared.
not that hard. What do you mean?
I'm scared. I am scared.
All
Go ahead.
I lost my connection.
Oh,
dang, man.
No, it's just to my artwork. I'm just trying to get it back up. I think I got to do this thing again. Yeah, because my thing went in sleep mode. There it is. Thor, she blows. All right, so the next one we're gonna do this. What is the game called again?
It's called Schedule 1.
Schedule
This guy
1.
just blew up like over 1 week, and it is a pretty popular game right now.
All right.
Like this guy, I'm not joking. He has literally made millions, and it's kind of crazy.
Okay. Here we go.
That thing's actually showing up my feed right now. Oh my god, bro.
That was the worst trailer I think I've ever seen.
Like what I was telling, this guy is a millionaire off of this game. I'm not joking to you.
Is there another trailer that we can look at? That didn't do anything. Like it did nothing for us.
It sounds like
I don't know anything about the game. It's just I was like, this game started showing up my recommended. I'm like, what the world is this? And I see like it's in the top selling. I was like, how a random game is this getting the top selling list? And I researched the game. I'm like, this guy has made millions off of this game. Like he made it like in 1 week. He's a single developer. This game is about like selling drugs. You're like a drug dealer, you know. And other than that, I don't know a whole lot about the game.
So it's like a shitty version of Grand Theft Auto. Yeah, let's read it on Steam.
You'll see it says in the top selling list. You'll see it says on there.
Actually, it looks like there's a better trailer on Steam too. So it's kind of like a crafting game too.
Yeah, you're making drugs basically. You sell drugs, and you have to kind
and that would be so. It's not the number one seller because it's good. It's just putting out bullshit into the community. Get this shit off my.
I mean, it's not even that. I mean, people really like this. People really enjoying this game. I mean, you can find a couple hours you want, but not gonna make money over here being bummed. So I'm being honest. We're really at the one time in history where like these low level people get just ascend to the highest level in the easiest way possible. Which in history that wasn't possible. I can show you a ton of other indie games that just have like a not necessarily the best visual appearance, but they're just like blowing up like crazy. You know, it's like there's a lot of indie games that kind of fall in this category. They're just beating AAA company just out of the water.
It's not that. It's because dumbass kids want their real drug dealer experience without being drug dealers.
Dude, you gotta remember GTA's popping. Why not go play GTA? And it's not just kids. There's plenty of adults playing this game, bro. Even when it comes to these kind of games, it's not just kids. Usually these games get popping, right?
I didn't say you had to be. I never said you had to be young to be a kid.
Here's this right here, guy named Spool Liger. He says, amazing game, easily 30 to 40 hours of gameplay. I hope the dev continues to add more depth in the future. I'd love to see more zones, cities, villages, etc. Additional starting scenarios, in debt, being a dealer for someone else.
Yeah, click the short I sent in there. You'll see that I'm talking about how you made millions.
You said clip the what?
There's a short I sent you where the guy was kind of explaining.
Oh, okay. All right.
Like all what he's technically made from the game, which when you look at it, you'll be that's pretty crazy.
All right, yeah, let's look at that. Because I'll say right now, aesthetically, it is not pleasing, but I can see why people will like have a lot of fun playing it.
You know what it reminds me of? You remember Alone in the Dark when we were kids, Brian? Terrible looking shit.
The newest hit indie game has hit the scene, Schedule 1, or Schedule I for all of the nerds out there. It is currently the second highest top-selling game on Steam, and has apparently made $91 million, so I bought it to see what all the fuss is about. In this game, you become a Substance Kingpin by manufacturing eye-watering amounts of illegal substances. You can unlock distributors, different methods of packaging, auto sprinklers for your grow tents, and much, much more. And there goes $6,000 because my friend just had to buy this bungalow. 0 out of 10 game. I'm out. Oh!
He gave
the newest hits
indie 0 out of 10. I mean, what is that supposed? I mean, like, is that a new thing you kids say when you give something a 0 out of 10? It actually means it's good.
No, I mean, I think he might be being serious, but it's like, I mean,
okay.
I don't know about this game. All I just know is this guy is just jumped out of nowhere. He's made other games where you can check. He's made other games. He's technically a successful indie dev, but this is to a level beyond of what he's done. Like, millions? Like that's kind of insane.
Yeah, it is insane. Props to him. I mean, it's not my type of thing.
This game's still in early access.
I guess I'm trying to figure out like is it a meme type of thing that people like so much about it?
I don't know. I don't think they find it this much. I don't know, man.
They find it funny.
People are not paying. How much does the game even cost? Like, I don't think
it's $20. It's $20.
Personally,
there's
200,000 people playing the game right now. 200,000 people.
Well, that's the other thing. Is it open world? Like, can you
yeah, it's open world. You can open world. You can play with your friends.
Okay, so you can interact with other people.
And like I said, there's 200,000 active players right now, bro.
Yeah,
basically what I said.
Games.
People want to be drug dealers without the hazards of being a drug dealer.
Well, it goes to show you. I mean, you can say that about any video game that has violence or whatever in it. It goes to show you though that aesthetics aren't everything, man. People just want to play a fun game. You know, they want to have fun.
People want to do hood rat things with their friends. We know.
The hood rat game.
I guess it kind of did fail a lot of people. All those freaking microtransactions and shark cards, I guess.
Yeah.
GTA 6 is taking too long to come out, let alone GTA 6 is going to be like $200 to even buy.
Yeah, and I'm not a gamer, but I've heard that a lot of gamers are complaining about the state of gaming right now.
It's pretty bad right now. Like the prices, we got to talk about that next time. Then we got to talk about the Nintendo thing, the Switch thing.
Okay.
Let's see if we get them.
All right, let's move on to the last thing you wanted to.
It's in the private chat.
Yeah, I see it. I'm about to open it up now. Let me copy the link. Okay. Yeah, it does remind me of those old beat 'em up games. It reminds me of there was an X-Men game that kind of looked like that too. I mean, the characters weren't as chibi, but it's similar. Wolverine had that same costume. I think Storm had a similar costume.
Storm wasn't in the game.
No, she wasn't. Was it? It was like
it was
Dazzler, Cyclops, Wolverine. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Do you play these types of games, Carbon?
No, I don't play beat 'em up. No.
I tell you, man, this kid had a terrible childhood.
What are you talking about, bro?
He's just terrible. That's why he's probably so depressing. Terrible childhood.
What are you talking about? What do you mean?
How you guys? This looks cool. You play just to have fun, and
sit back and kick it, man.
Yeah, you can play with your friends. You get it done in like a couple hours.
Get mad at get mad at your friend for messing up
or dying too early. Oh, they got Nova. Nova. I have to say, Nova looks pretty badass in this. Not bad at all.
Yeah,
Storm looks cool too.
But yeah, I saw that's coming out. I'm like, yeah, I could rock with this.
All right,
let's wrap it up.
Yeah, let's wrap it up, and let's go to the final art show section part here. As soon as I get this stain to come back up.
I didn't get a whole lot done.
And what's wrong with this thing? There we go. All right, we'll go to, since we started with you first, Carbon, we'll start with Mr. Limping on Sunshine.
Well, I got all the way to the inking stage. Up face. Like,
yeah, it looks good, man. I'm definitely getting some Biker Mice from Mars vibes from it.
I only watched that one episode of that show. Yeah. This is but I like it. And like I said, I started drawing this at work today because I didn't feel like talking to my area manager. so I disappeared into my office, and when he walked in there, hey, what are you doing? Nothing.
All right. Oh, Michael, what's up, Mike? I didn't know Mike was in the chat. So this is why humanity is going nowhere fast. It's a race to the bottom. I guess he was talking about the drug dealing game.
Mike Andrews, man.
Hey, man, they're making money, man. Hey, you can't complain. That man made $1 million or whatever. So a couple billion. Hey.
Yeah, I guess the way I look at it, Mike, is that I've seen way worse as far as video games. Like that's actually pretty tame. I mean, you look at Grand Theft Auto. I mean, I remember they were complaining about Grand Theft Auto even before it was 3D. There was like the top-down look. The very fact that it was a game called Grand Theft Auto. I think it was like banned in a few places and stuff like that.
I mean, I know it's not about money, but I mean,
from what I could gather from it, it looks like it's a meme type of game, and people are just they're laughing at how bad it is. I mean, even though it might be fun to play with your friends and stuff, but they're laughing at how it doesn't look good. Yeah, and Mike is right about that, man. Not all money is good money.
And I think in that guy's case, that's pretty good money. It's not like he did anything bad to get that money. He just made a random game, and it just happened to just. Like, he didn't ever put any money advertising. He just happened to randomly get popular because people saw it. Like
we were talking to a friend of mine. I won't say who it is, and we were talking about something similar. And my uncle asked him. He was like, "Okay, no." He asked us, "Would you put Black if they gave you $1 million to direct Black Panther?" Or however much money Ryan Coogler got, right? Let's say it was $6 million. Let's say he made $6 million directing the movie. And they said, but let's say they went to you, Caleb, and they said, hey, look, we'll give you $6 million to direct the next Black Panther movie, but somewhere in the movie you have to put Black Panther T'Challa in a pink tutu.
He would do it. He would do it. He would do it. I know Caleb was gonna say yes.
I was like, hell no, I wouldn't do it. My uncle was like, no, I wouldn't do it. But my friend was like, he considered it. And I think that's what we mean by not all money is good money. There's ramifications to what you put out there in the ether. You know what I'm saying? So, that, and I think that's what Mike means. It's like, it's not always about the money, is what you're putting out there, causing more harm, than what the money is worth.
Dude,
Yeah.
I don't think a game like that is doing that, bro.
I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying I get the argument.
Like, it's not GTA level so bad. Like, if a kid plays GTA, I understand how you feel. That's pretty bad. Like that game, I don't know, man.
Yeah,
like most indie games are more. I would say so far, the ones that are getting popular tend to be more on the goofy side. The ones that are making a ton of money. So
Yeah.
I'm like,
all right. Well, let's.
All right, let's move on to.
No. I have a rebuttal for Mr. Carbon. Yeah, it's
what?
making money, but it's making money on doing hood rat things to friends. Like, if that was the case, right? He would have made, like, you remember those games that they'll teach you how to
games where you literally kill your friends.
Hold on. If that was the case, right? You remember those games that teach you how to type, and somebody made a let's go to school game. Oh, this is hyper realistic. Yeah, then those people will become millionaires instead of the bullshit that they got to put up with. But no, people want to do illicit stuff and have a world of immersion. I mean,
Yeah, but it goes back to what I see. The way I look at it like this, that's a personal thing. If you live in a liberal society, if you live in a free country or whatever, you can put whatever you want to out there as long as it's not considered pornographic, right? And you're trying to sell it to kids or something like that, right? Now, I don't know what the rating is on the game. I'm assuming it's an adult rating, but we know kids are going to play it. We know that.
I might better check the rating on thing. Well, let me check and see if I can find a rating on there.
But the point I'm trying to make, though, is that you can't enforce that. That's something that you personally have to, think about.
It's not 18 plus. I'm about to say it has some mature content in it, but it doesn't have that thing. Like when you click on it's like 18 plus or whatever, it's still technically a for all ages game, at least as far as Steam goes.
Yeah, that's not cool. They need to do something.
There's a mature content warning in the game, but I mean, kids can still play this and buy this.
Yeah, that's not cool.
There's no 18 plus filter on it.
That ain't cool. That's not cool. They got to do something about that. Any game where you're like, simulating doing illicit or illegal activity like that, that shouldn't be for anybody under 18.
Yeah, because it would ask for your age or whatever when you click on it.
Yeah.
Because you were able to go in the Steam one in the Steam browser, right? You're able to go in the browser, yeah. Because usually if you went to the browser, were you logging through Steam when you went in your browser one?
No, I just pulled up Steam.
Yeah, see, that's what I mean. If you're able to just pull up the web page, it was ask for 18 plus. If you were to go on it, if it was actually 18 plus, which is not.
Oh. Okay. All right. Well,
you
huh?
You got one more thing.
Maybe one more thing.
I just want your opinion on something real quick. Check your Discord and put
I don't have Discord up, man. I don't have it up.
Did you just pull Discord up right now? What are you talking about?
No, I didn't. I didn't pull up Discord.
Oh, that's kind of.
What are we looking at? I got you on the solo view.
Oh yeah, this is the first look at Chris Evans for the next Avengers movie. I know we don't really care for comic book movies anymore. But how do we feel about?
Oh, they're doing the whole thing, making Captain America evil thing in the movies. That didn't go too well in the comics. Why would they do that in the movies?
Oh no, the
isn't that his Hydra costume?
Yeah.
Yeah, I ain't feeling that, man. I mean, Marvel's going downhill anyway, so who cares?
They gotta do whatever they can, man.
Yeah. All right. Any last thoughts before we get out of here?
Next week's show we're gonna go see Sinners, right?
Yeah, it is next week because the movie comes out on the 18th? Yeah, that is next week. That's Easter, isn't it? Isn't it 18th Easter?
God damn, dude. No, nothing is next
Friday.
Friday.
Mike mad, man.
Huh?
Making Mike mad.
Mike, you want to come up here and express your opinion?
yeah. I think you should come in here and talk. I think.
Yeah. Do you have the time,
Mike?
Mike?
And bring him in here.
If you have the time, Mike, I'll send you the link.
I mean, he's been here a good minute, man. He has some time. Don't lie to us now. You've been here a good minute, man.
Mike's been out here working, man. You get promoting this movie.
Hey, Mike. Hey, tell Mike I'm gonna catch it when it comes. When is it gonna premiere in Charleston?
It was supposed to play last Thursday, but it was an issue with the movie theater. So he had to postpone.
I guess he doesn't want to join though.
Oh, that's cool. He had to postpone it until what? I think is it May?
Or he didn't send anything. I don't know. He just hasn't responded yet.
May 4th and May 5th. He might be busy. Okay. Yeah.
I will make sure to catch the one that's here.
Yeah. So
We only got one good. We only got one good knee.
And it was gonna play at the Azalea, right? Right when we went to go see where we went to go see The Woman in the Yard. So you're like right there by the theater.
Yeah.
So no excuse not to go. Yeah. All right. Let's head out. I'm trying to make the shows a little shorter, but I mean we still almost went to 10 today. You guys make sure you send me your topics early in the week. You know.
I ain't sending shit. You're gonna get
okay,
it.
Yeah, okay. Mike, never mind. Mike said he wants to come up. So Mike, I'm gonna send the link in the actual
send this in.
comments here. So let's go invite.
Yeah, I have a couple things I can send to you then.
Paste.
It depends on which one you want to talk about.
All right, Mike. I put it in the comment section.
Man, that'd be crazy. You had random people join here and just start talking to, bro.
Huh?
That'd be crazy. You had random people start joining here trying to talk to.
That'd be great.
We had that one guy. I remember one guy when we did the Superman show.
Man, that's the only one. I wish you'd get more people like that, man. You should put that in like the description or something. We'll let you come talk to us too if you want to argue with us or whatever.
Let's see. He says he doesn't see the link.
No, you need to post on Facebook, bro. You posted on YouTube. He's on Facebook.
Oh, I thought it would post it to both.
No. I think you might have to post it to Facebook, bro.
Okay, tell you what, Mike. I'll just send you an email, man.
That means you're assuming he's at his computer, right? Is he at his computer?
I'm assuming if he's on Facebook, why would he not be at his computer?
You can get Facebook on your phone. Like what the hell?
So you can't send them. You can have email on your phone.
Yeah.
I got a StreamYard on my phone, so.
Oh, I thought when you did the comment section, it was send it to both the YouTube and the Facebook. Well, let me see.
Is there no option? You would think there'd be an option to do that.
Yeah. Or if there's a way to respond to a certain person. Oh, here we go. It says you can. Yeah, it is an option. So I go to Facebook, and now I can post it. All right, Mike, this might work. All right. But if he's watching it on Facebook, would he see the comments under the video?
I don't know how it works, man. I don't know, because if he literally said he didn't see it when you posted it,
I'll email it to him too.
Nah, because I can see that you posted on YouTube, and actually he's talking on Facebook. So I'm assuming that's why I didn't. Well, you can't see it now. I don't know.
But I did it. I did it sort of, but I'm gonna send him a link on his email. All right, Mike. I sent you an email too.
I think we need to start streaming it to all.
Oh yeah, there he is. There, I'm adding to the stage.
Can we stream it to all our Facebooks at the same time?
I think you could do simul streaming or something like that.
Are you guys?
I mean, you still have to do it through Discord though, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But Mike, you're up on the screen, man.
Yo,
he might be getting his.
Can you guys hear me at all?
Yes, we can.
Oh, yeah, we can hear you. Yeah.
You hear me at all? Okay, no, I was I just happened to be up here chilling, man. It's the Sabbath, so like I'm not fucking doing. Okay, I was about to hop up.
Hey, Mike, you're going in and out.
Yeah, try to get closer to your mic if you can, man.
Yeah, because you're going in and out.
All right, hang on.
You mean to tell me Mike's not too good on the mic?
Hang on.
You probably wasn't expecting to speak today.
Oh man, you're the boy, Mother Teresa. That's what I'm going to call you.
You gonna call me Mother Teresa? That's fucked up.
Not you, Mike. I'm talking about Carbon.
Oh,
that man sits there and tries to defend every piece of trash that he comes across his way.
Yo, I just think something's okay. If something's okay, something's okay. Dang, bro, if it was bad, if it was that bad, I would say it's bad too.
Did you hear about the plague? It's terrible. It's not that bad. People are making
Yeah,
money
I
off
don't
the
know. There's
flag.
just like some like
Nah,
hardcore
you're just being
delay, like
racist, bro.
about like I don't
All right,
know,
guys.
5 seconds or so.
Oh, okay. Yo, yeah, everybody let Mike say his piece.
Well, they're making money off.
The floor is yours, Mike.
No, I was I don't know. I know this is probably coming to you guys late, but man, yeah, no. The problem, my biggest problem, like with this shit, is that we have it's like a race to the bottom. All of this shit. When you look at our fucking society, man, AI, this type of shit. I mean, it's just again, no matter what you want to believe, whether you believe in the Most High God or whether you believe in science or whatever the fuck you decide to believe in, man. This shit is like the jig is almost up, I believe, for like this current paradigm. And it's just unfortunate.
I don't know. I see it a little differently. I see it more as like, this happens throughout history. You get paradigm shifts or whatever. I think the biggest shift that we're seeing right now is just, America's losing its number one spot.
I mean, well, it does happen throughout history, but that's kind of my point, though, right?
I mean, nothing can last forever.
Speak for yourself. Wu-Tang is forever, motherfucker.
Yeah, I'm not saying anything can, but I mean, it's just I don't know. We're kind of trapped up in this situation where we're I don't know. We have this situation where we mean nothing in the current paradigm, but the destruction of the current paradigm is going to be shitty for us too. So whatever.
Yeah. It does not look good. The horizon doesn't look good. But I mean, resets happen all the time. Well, not all the time, but it happens throughout history, I guess.
Yeah.
And we've been trying, in my opinion, this country has been trying to artificially hold it back for a long time, and we're not doing any of the necessary things to be a productive people. And I think kind of like what you were kind of alluding to in the chat, I think the art kind of shows that. The art shows that. I mean, look at what people consider art now. Look at the video games we grew up with, even though they didn't have like the best graphics and everything, compared to what we just saw.
Yeah, I can admit that one.
Yeah, it's
pretty
like,
bad.
come on,
That is
well,
not even just how it looks.
I mean, I don't care. I don't care per se about like what we're calling art here, for lack of a better way to put it. But my thing is it's not the art. It's just because art can be stick figures but still be art, right? Because the real spirit behind art is what you're trying to express. It's just it's just the bullshit. It's just what it's about. You know what I'm trying?
Well, that's why I was trying to counter when Carbon. I wasn't just talking about aesthetically. I'm also talking about.
Oh, okay. All right.
Content.
Fair enough.
Yeah, the content itself. You know what I'm saying? We were talking about this the other day. It's like, why is it when I watch the Superman movie from 1978, I still get a sense of wonder, but when I watch the new stuff, it's just like
Some of it
might be because I'm older.
I actually recently
older
went back and watched like 1978?
Yeah.
Or whatever. But yeah, man, it was really well done, dude. Like again, I don't care for Superman, or I don't care really for any of these like heroes from this nation or anything. I just don't give a damn. But man, it was really a well done film. The way that it was presented, the way that the acts unfolded, it was just really well done.
Yeah. I think we've lost something for sure. And I think in the name of efficiency, we've lost certain things. I mean, I was just looking at how like they build houses now compared to like how they build houses like 200 years ago. And I get it; it's more efficient now, and they're better. They conserve energy better and stuff like that. But they just look so plain. They just look so plain compared to what they were doing.
Well, I don't know. With regard to houses, and I've actually been looking into a lot of this stuff recently, man. Like, well, I swear, I don't believe in school, but like when I do decide to go back and do something, man, it's going to definitely be something like civil engineering.
Yeah.
Because like, I don't know, none of the houses, even the ones that were built years ago, like, I don't know, they're not really, I don't want to say they're not well done, but what I want to say is we need to change the type of material that we're building them with. You know what I mean? Like not concentrated, but reinforced concrete, concrete forms. That's what you really need to build your house with. I mean, there's a photo of this one house that was built with consecrated, or excuse me, with concrete forms. I can't remember the exact name, but it's concrete something forms or whatever. But it was like the only house left standing in Florida, like after a really bad hurricane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember I was watching something about that, and they were like, why don't they build houses out of concrete?
Man, we can just talk about the cars, bro.
Well, let's stick with the houses for a second. They were like, why don't they build houses out of concrete in the United States, especially in disaster-prone areas like where there's like tornadoes and stuff like that? And it all comes down to costs. And they said because we're so we have so much lumber, you know what I'm saying? The amount of time and energy you got to put into creating a concrete structure compared to creating one.
I mean, yeah, but that's kind of more of that kind of like I don't know, planned obsolescence along that same like vein bullshit. In the name of the things are called insulated concrete forms. They are more expensive than like altogether than wood, but they are. If you just think about it, they guard you from you won't have to worry about termites. They're going to protect you against storms. I think most people would pay the premium for that because when they build houses, they look at how much per square foot is it going to take me to build this house. I don't know. I think it's like $2 or $3 more. I know that's more. Like it adds up, but man, it's worth it.
Maybe. I think what happens is people say when people go to buy a home, and if they are thinking about that, they say it's not worth it. And one of the things the guy pointed out when it comes to the areas that were prone to tornadoes, if those areas are prone to tornadoes compared to other areas that don't get them. But even the people who live in those areas, most of them say,
well, yeah, but what about the termites?
Well, most of the people say like, within their lifetimes, they've never even seen a tornado. So when you look at it from that perspective, it's like, okay, well, houses are already, and it's already an expensive. It's probably going to be one of the most expensive things you buy in your lifetime. So like, if I can get the wooden house, and it's for the most part, it's going to be fine throughout most of my life. Why would I spend more money?
I get it, but like I don't know, like over the course of time, having owned a home now and seeing how quickly things can deteriorate, specifically with like termites and and it's not as though tornadoes don't randomly spawn here in Georgia. They do, but whatever. You never know. Like why not spend a few extra dollars per square foot to make sure you have something that you're going to have like a little bit more security with. The only thing that's not going to protect you from is like a tree falling, like into your house, but nothing's going to protect you from that. You can have like steel beams in your house, but nothing will protect you from a tree falling down.
So concrete houses can't stand a tree. Well, I guess if it's big enough and it falls down, it's tall enough and it falls down hard enough, yeah. Especially because the roof ain't gonna be made out of concrete. Yeah, but I see what you're saying though, because you go back, you look at stone structures, and they've lasted, millennia. I don't know if concrete will last that long, but it'll last longer than wood. That's for sure.
Look at Rome. Roman architecture is mostly concrete.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a different type of concrete though, wasn't it?
Nope.
For a long time, they didn't even know how they made their concrete. I think recently they figured it out. Oh, by the way, did you guys hear about the so-called dire wolf?
Yes.
Oh, that's bullshit, bro. I'm calling AI on that.
When I looked into it, a lot of the scientists I follow say that's the part that they get the media headlines. That's not an actual dire wolf. It's a modified gray wolf, but it's not a dire wolf. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know about, bro. Like I'm gonna have to see that fucking dire wolf or gray wolf or whatever the fuck in person.
I mean, it looked real. It didn't look, because they showed it from multiple angles. Nothing looked uncanny valley about it. And they showed it when it was a little puppy, all the way up to when it was I think they're not grown yet. I think they're in adolescence.
Man, look, man, I don't believe anything I see on the internet anymore. I just don't.
Yeah, I mean, this wasn't just on the internet. I mean, this was national news media. Yeah, but I guess the point I'm making though is that they're lying. They're not direwolves.
Yeah, well, again, I have not seen it with my own eyes, so
The Timberwolves with direwolf genes spliced into them.
Yeah, for what I could gather from what the scientists they were saying that if anything, this would be a new artificial species, but it wouldn't be an actual direwolf. It's
so on some Jurassic Park type shit then.
Kind of, it's a chimera. It's a kind of like a chimera type of thing, but it's basically a gray wolf that's just been modified to have white fur and it'll grow larger. But it's not an actual dire wolf. And they said the complexity to make an actual dire wolf, like the technique they use, I don't think would produce the actual dire wolf. It just produces this kind of hodgepodge.
This is that fucking organic programming, man. This is the shit that I was talking about some years ago. One of the younger developers I was working with, probably about 7 years ago, when he was coming out of, I didn't go to school for programming. I just fucking learned how to do everything on the job. But like he was talking about some of the different types of branches of programming that he was studying when he was in school, and he was like, yeah, he was really interested in organic programming. And I was like, explain that to me. And it's like basically playing God.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some ethical implications involved with it. I think there's one guy, the way he was breaking it down, he was like, if that it's possible that by doing this, because they don't know how all the genes necessarily or all the DNA necessarily works, so they can get an idea. Like, say if you find the gene to make the hair white for the dire wolf, right? Well, that gene might do something else, and because you don't know everything about how it's supposed to do, and you didn't do a certain thing or whatever, it could cause the wolves to be more cancerous or something like that. It and they have, and they can have horrible
this is
lives.
kind of what I'm getting at with all that bullshit, man. Yeah, we live in the days of Noah, man. I think that people find it really difficult to believe that we've been at this point of, like we have this height of technology before, but man, like you remember, plastic can degrade over time. I really think that we've been here before, like around this same level of technology, and we just we got destroyed and wiped out, and this shit is about to get reset again, dude.
There's no evidence of that. There's just no evidence.
You can say that there's no evidence of it, but that's because no evidence would in fact exist, because the world is fucking old.
I mean, you could say that that's basically a God of the gaps type of argument. You can say about
it's
any.
Not really a God of the gaps argument.
I'm not. I'm saying
whatever,
it's a type. I'm saying it's a type.
It's all good. Like I'm not gonna go down there. I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole.
I'm not saying it. I'm not saying
something like that is possible.
I'm saying it's a type of. I'm saying like, okay, you can put any belief in the unknown. You could say, hey, well, the Earth is old and we don't know exactly everything that happened back then. Therefore, there was a great advanced society as advanced as our own. I'm sorry. If you look at how we do technology today, if they had something similar, we would see traces of it. There's no traces of it at all in any
well,
record.
But how would you know if everything eventually breaks down? How would I mean, seriously, how would you know for sure?
It depends.
I know it's like a God of gaps argument to you, but like you wouldn't know for sure because the Earth has a way of literally forgetting.
Well, that's
because everything can disintegrate after a while.
It depends on how long ago you're talking about. If you're saying the civilization was only like maybe 20 to 30,000 years ago, then yeah, we would definitely see a trace of it.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying. I'm not talking about like a couple thousand years ago. We know stuff. We know stuff that exists like
millions and millions of years ago.
Hell, even 10,000 years ago. But man, further into the past, man, who fucking knows?
That's why I say it's more of like a God of the gaps type of
And again, okay, it's fair for you to make that argument, but at the same time, who said it? One, who even said I was mentioning God
No, I'm
at
saying it's
all?
a type. I
It
said it's a
has nothing
type.
to do with God
No, I'm not. I said it's a
in the way that
type.
I'm talking about it.
I said it's
It
a
has
type.
more to do with
Mike,
civilization, so
listen
to
to what I'm
speak.
saying. I'm not saying it is a god of the gas. It's a type. It's a type of argument where
Hey, Mike, it is awesome hearing from you. I will be at the next show.
Man, come on, y'all. We can't leave. You gotta stay for this, man.
Well, yeah, hey man, yeah, like
Wait.
I gotta go too if that's what you're about to say.
Yeah, because usually
Yeah,
I'm
I
down.
gotta go too, man.
Before you go,
Yeah,
before you go,
but no,
before you
seriously, y'all. Hey, hold on. Before you do go, listen, man. You brothers gotta understand, man. Like you, I want you guys to understand. You know, if people like you guys don't support the type of work that I'm doing, like it won't take off. You know what I'm trying to say? I'm literally revamping my approach to social media and my approach to my YouTube page. You guys are gonna see a whole lot of changes here coming up soon. So I'm gonna have to fucking do the whole becoming an influencer thing. So you're gonna see that coming up here soon. But at the same time, we still need actual people who support our projects and shit like that. And not too afraid to see Black people in positions of power because honestly, throughout this whole marketing journey that I've been through, quite honestly and unfortunately, I've seen a lot of Black folks are kind of like that. So, uh,
Well, we
I
support you,
mean,
Mike. Matter of fact,
Brian and I were just
one
having
of
this
our shows we
argument the other
played
day about the
your trailer.
artificiality of quote unquote Black people. But so if that's the case, then we need people to generally support what we're doing.
Yeah, we support you. We even showed your trailer once on the show. So that's for sure. And I totally agree, man. We got to start supporting each other. That's why it's not totally my type of thing, but I'm going to check out this what's it called Iyanu type of whatever. But that seemed like it was a positive type of thing or whatever. It's looks like it's all Black cast. Looks like it was produced mostly by Black people. I mean, they're Nigerians and ADOS, but hey,
Yeah, I seen that. You know what? I think I was at the same. I think that brother was at the same. I feel like we were at MomoCon out here together, displaying or like together. I could swear that we were.
Yeah, it seems like I had seen the work before, too. So I'm glad they made it that far. They made it to Netflix.
Cartoon Network.
I'm sorry, Cartoon Network. Yeah, it was the Cartoon Network and HBO, right?
I don't know about the HBO thing. I know it's Cartoon Network.
No. Yeah, but yeah, Mike, for sure, I totally agree, man. We gotta Black people gotta like I always hear it too. People are like, well, why can't Black people do this? Why can't we do that? Why do we always have to? Why does it have to be like the Black version of Captain America or Superman or whatever?
I agree with
you
you,
don't
Brian.
support the stuff that people are creating.
Yeah, well, Black people can't do anything because Black people don't exist. The idea of Black people don't exist. But here's the catch: white supremacy does exist, right? So it's like this quandary that we're in because it's like the force that wants to destroy us does exist, but the force that's supposed to oppose it does not, right? But it's like a weird quandary.
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's weird.
Hey! I don't support you niggas. That's what you, man. But I agree with you completely, Mike. Me and my cousin were having a discussion about that earlier. Like, if anytime like you hear the word Black or anything involving Black people, it's always a negative connotation put onto it, especially by our own. So if we don't sit there and support our own, then nobody else. We got to have our own backs. In other words.
Man, let me tell you, man, I've been reaching out to everybody, dude. Like everything that has the prefix Black, man, I have not heard back from one single person, man. And it is quite honestly been an eye-opening situation for me. But on the top at the same time, man, very, very disappointing. Very disappointing. No other word to put it, just disappointing.
Well, Mike, I hate to say it, with Black people, you got to go old school with Black people. You got to reach them in the communities. As much as people are stuck to their phones, word of mouth is always the best way to spread something. Like
Well, I mean, I'm gonna be doing more of that. Don't get me wrong. I get you. I'm not saying that you're wrong, and I'm gonna be doing a whole lot more of that. I'm not gonna. That's honestly, that's why I said this whole influencer thing. I'm gonna have to fucking embrace it. But like, man, that if we're not gonna be doing black this and black this, then don't put the fucking prefix in front of your name. Black film critics, black whatever, black this, black that. Shut the hell up. You don't mean a damn thing.
Yeah, I have mixed feelings on it because I'm like, you know how I feel, Mike. I don't think we're real people. In fact, I think we're dying people.
Yeah, I mean, I had
Yeah.
fought with you on that, but honestly, bro, like, goddamn.
Yeah. I mean, it's easy to like once you really start researching our history and how we became a so-called people, it's like there's a reason why we behave the way we behave. You know what I'm saying? And it's not something that's going to be solved overnight. And if there isn't any real intentionality to solve it in the right ways, it's not going to get solved. So
yeah, I don't know.
I don't see people moving. I don't see people moving in that direction.
Argument that I was making the other day when I was out there, man, with this whole cowardice / mercenary thing. It's like we have cowards and mercenaries.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Say that again. You said cowards and what now?
Mercenaries.
Are you talking about black people in general?
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Again, I'm not trying to extol or whatever the virtues of white people or any other race, because other people suffer from the same type of thing. The problem is that there is an active resistance against black folks, unlike any other ethnic group. And so, and everybody else knows how to get on code, but black folks do not.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of those things where I said it before. I think most black people are integrationists.
Yeah,
I don't think they're trying to get on code. They look at themselves as American, and as much as them probably won't admit it, they prefer to be around white people. They prefer the pat on the head from the white person. They prefer to get the job from the white person.
I know, dude. Pat on the head, and it's like, God damn, bro.
So-
like y'all sit out. This is why, and it's like I'm trying to say, bro. It's like, you sit up here, you want to pat on the head and all that bullshit. Just like you mentioned, man. Like I have no respect for that, man. That's why I say coward. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think they've been acclimated to a certain type of life.
Yeah, man, acclimated. Yeah, after a while, but man, I'll put it like this, man. If you've read a certain amount of history. If you've read a certain amount of history, that's no excuse anymore.
Yeah, but these dudes graduate from
They
high
don't
school
ever
and they can
teach
barely
history in schools now. What are you talking about, dude?
and then when they graduate, they can barely read. They barely read. Did y'all see that one study where they polled the Ivy League students, and like I can't remember the percentage, but it was like a high percentage, and they had never even read a book. Like they never read a full book all the way through. These Ivy League students, and then we wonder why we were losing
How is
ground
that
in
possible, bro?
China. Because we don't value education in this country anymore. And I hate to say it, but a lot of the reason why we don't value education, and we're getting a little political here, so I won't go too far on this, is because of the racism in this country. They did everything in their power to destroy the public school system because they didn't want to properly educate black people. And that's not the only reason why black people have problems with education.
Oddly enough, that kind of takes us full circle back to the argument or not argument, but the video game that we were talking about here.
Yeah.
Well, specifically with black folks.
It'd be interesting to see what the demographics are of the people who are buying that game, though.
I mean,
Yeah, that's fair too.
I don't think you can really see statistics.
Like at the height
you
of
have
like
to see age range,
NWA,
not race.
like I feel like more white folks were actually buying that because I'm be rebellious against their parents and shit.
Yeah, and I see it as like a meme type of game, and I'm sure it's fun. I'm sure people are having fun with it, playing with their friends and stuff. Because it's the type of game.
To their friends.
Well, it's the type of game. It's the type of game you can play with your friends and laugh at it. So I think that's probably why it's so popular. Like how what ridiculous thing do they have next in it? And it looks kind of it looks ridiculously bad. You know what I'm saying? So it's not my type of thing, but I get it. I get it. You know what I'm saying? And then who knows? Who knows who's pushing it? Who knows who's really like? Is it really grassroots? Someone could be pushing it. You know, we don't. We wouldn't really even know. Like this, I think there's a lot of industry plants and all types of entertainment. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of these rappers, like all these new rappers, the mumble rappers or whatever. I think a lot of those guys are industry plants. I don't think they're grassroots. Yeah, I think that's
I
social.
won't deny that. I just
social engineering. Yeah.
No, I won't deny that. Yeah, I do believe that there are a lot of industry plants, and but that again, that kind of further speaks to this just disenchantment with this whole idea of like any sort of black unity. You know what I'm trying to say? It's like, bro, come on, man. And it's like, okay, that's fine or whatever. But here's the thing: I wouldn't care. I wouldn't care for black unity, so to speak, if there weren't this force against us. I mean, it's not bullcrap. Because when I was younger, I used to be like, no, like there's nothing happening to black folks. Black folks, you need to just kind of stand up, and I still do. I still believe that. You know what I mean? But like at the same time, man, you cannot deny observable truth in history, in reality, and what you see, man.
Yeah, I think when it comes to black people, man, I think that it's not just one thing, and I think that's the problem. I think that we have, because a police or somebody like that will do something bad to a black person, and then we'll all rally around and say, "Yeah, see, the problem is the police problem." Police is like, no, it's the problem is across the board, and it's not just coming from the racist side of society, like the racist white people. It's not just coming from that. A lot of it comes from pathologies we created in slavery that has become culture. It's become culture that.
Well, I'll give you just a little bit of pushback when you say pathologies that we've created. Some of those have been imposed on us, to be completely honest. But
Well, either way, whether we created it or whether it was, and I would agree. I was correction that was imposed on us. The point is, I can't believe I'm agreeing with this guy because I hate him so much. But I remember one time, what's that guy's name? Ben Shapiro. And they asked him about black people one time. He was like, "Well, black people have bad culture." And at first, I didn't like what he was saying. I was like, "It was screw him," you know what I'm saying? But the more you really start to, it's like, there's some truth to that. I don't like I don't like him. I don't like that he said it.
Oh, hold on. I'm saying, who are you quoting? Just a second.
Are you sure you want to pull this political stuff on the live, bro?
Ben Shapiro. It's Ben Shapiro. Yeah.
My God. You might want to stop the shooting. Talking this political stuff, man.
It's called shooting the breeze for a reason.
Oh, Ben Shapiro.
No, I remember this center wasn't political though.
I don't. I mean, just like you can. If you want to talk about right wingers or whatever, that's fine. Whatever. A broken clock, is right twice a day, right? Like if Hitler said 2 + 2. Is equal to 4. You can't deny that 2 + 2 is equal to 4 just because it's Hitler or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, you can agree with somebody when they say something. I don't know if I agree entirely with what Ben Shapiro was saying, but I don't have a problem with agreeing with somebody if something is like, again, if it's evident. But like when you talk about, again, you always hear me say this thing about observable truth. Okay, well, fine, but observable truth, you cannot deny it. But why it's so, that's the thing that's fair to argue about.
I mean, I think it's clear why it is. I mean, we come from a culture of former slaves. I mean, I think that's what it is. We weren't homogenized over thousands of years, or whatever. We're artificial people. So we're not a fully formed.
Well, I'll put it like this: if you want to take that argument of we're artificial people, so before during the Old Kingdom and the Egyptians, during the Egyptian dynasties and stuff like that. Well, because all of them used to look sub-Saharan, right? Until forces from the west and from the north came and started going to war with and conquering the northern portion, which again is like south or the southern part, according to the map, the way that they used to call it, according to the Nile or whatever. It doesn't matter. What I'm trying to get at is that those people up there, became like what we would call like a fixed mulatto race. But guess what? They decided, hey man, the people below us, they don't respect us because we're not full-blooded. And the people that came down here and conquered our forefathers and created us, man, well, fuck them too because they don't give a shit about us. But you know what? We're Egyptians. At least, but you see what I'm trying to say? There's a difference there. You can still become a people. So like your argument about artificial people, yes, it is. Yes, it is true in a sense, but at the same time, it's not like a group of people that like us that has existed can't stand up. But when we keep fighting against each other and when we keep like glorifying these lower, not these lower aspects of humanity, you're gonna have what we have.
I mean, you don't think it was a different? It was like a different time period. Like, okay, for instance, right? Let me ask you this: name a period in history where a population was taken from their homeland thousands of miles across an ocean, enslaved for centuries, and then
well,
over
no,
time,
no. This
and
is
then over time.
Our position is I mean, I can't because this is unlike anything that's ever really happened in history. Like,
and that's really kind of the point I'm making. It's like, okay, well, I'm sure something maybe somewhat similar may have happened, but we're kind of in a unique situation. To the point where we're free, to the point where we have the same rights as of the people who originally enslaved us. I'm sure it happened in small little pockets here and there, but as like
I don't know. I
millions of
mean,
people,
yeah,
like
sure. You could say that, but at the same time, now you're getting into like a little bit more of a geographical or like more of a physical like argument, whereas people
those
cultures
matter.
travel with people, though, right?
Those matter. Like your
Well,
geography and
it
your
does
environment
matter
matters,
because
right?
cultures travel with people. That's why you
Yeah.
still have all the dancing and the African influence and stuff like that on the black folks had, but it does matter.
Mm-hmm. So that's the only point I'm making. And that's one point I'm making is that a good bit of that culture was wiped out though, and was supplanted.
I'm not saying a good bit of it was wiped out, but
In
it
fact,
wasn't wiped out. I'm
I
saying
would
that
say
a fair
99.9%
amount of
of
it
it was wiped
remained,
out.
dude. Like,
No,
I
it
mean,
did.
that's
No,
palpable.
it
You
didn't.
can't deny that. That's
No, it
true.
didn't.
You can see that in every aspect of the
No,
African, quote unquote African American.
It did not. It did not. It did not. I would say 99.9% of it was wiped out. If we even had, I would say 50% of who we are and where we came from, we would know who our tribes were. We would know who our ancestors were. We would know the religions and gods and all that stuff that we that was that they had before they were brought over.
I don't know,
here.
but I guess kind of now you're back to like my argument where it's like, hey man, we don't know enough about who we used to be, like how like the Egyptians don't know enough about the sub-Saharan Africans to like be like, I can't relate to these people, but I definitely can't relate to the people that conquered us, that created us, so that we're not like anybody, we're other. That's literally the same position that Black Americans are in.
I don't think it is. I think it's a different time period.
I don't know, dude. I don't know. Again, because your argument is sheerly like geographical and physical. I don't know.
I mean, what defines culture more than environment? That's what defines culture. And if you look at the environment that African Americans were created in, it's not conducive.
Well,
that's
not a valid argument, because if that were true, if that were true, then we would have left all the culture there that we, like in the different parts of Africa that we came with. Your argument is literally like it's literally dead on arrival.
No,
right? Because like, we can't. Well,
could you say that again?
Worship the Nile and stuff like that. So like, we can't worship the Nile over here, but that doesn't mean that some of the old practices that went along with that aren't still here.
Like what? Like what is it about African American culture that we held on to so much that that we have a cultural identity around that came from Africa? It's very little at all. We're let's be honest. African Americans were Western people. We are Western people, and we got to be honest about that.
Okay. Again, when you say
we're not asking
Western,
what,
again,
what about our culture? What about our culture?
He's right about that.
I mean,
bro.
Again, like I you keep saying this whole argument about Western, but I'm assuming that that's stemming from Christianity or
No, I'm talking about in
that influence, but
general.
really that
It's
is
not just
just the
religion. I'm just
dominant
talking about
society's
no,
version of
no,
something
Mike.
that
I'm talking about
already
in
existed,
general.
something that
No,
pre-existed that
no, I'm not talking.
Africans came up with.
See, as funny as I had the same conversation with some other people. Like, I'm not talking about what inspired Christianity or anything like that. I'm not even necessarily talking about religion. I mean, religion is part of it, of course. I'm talking about in general, all matters of culture. We're a Western people. We're not African. There's very little that's
I won't.
African about our
Again,
culture.
listen. I won't. I won't. You cannot argue against something that is you can observe. Yeah, we do have a lot of. We have a lot of Western traits about us. A
It's
lot
most,
of
it's
us,
most,
unfortunately,
it's
in
most,
some instances.
it's most, it's most. It's not even a lot. It's most. That look, what do you think slavery did? It
But
wiped out
okay,
whatever
because like one,
Wait,
just remember, like
remember,
we're in the
remember, we're
weeds
also
here.
wait, hold on.
My
We're also
argument
wait, but we're
from the
also
beginning was, hey man, if other ethnic groups that suffered very similar stuff, not exactly the same, but of other ethnic groups that suffered very similar stuff to us, can get it together and say, hey man, look man, like hey, we're not like Upper Egypt. But you know what? We're not like the other people that conquered us. We're our own people. We're Egyptians. We're different than everybody. If they can do it, then other people can do it, bro.
I think
Like,
that's I think
well,
it's a
your
bad
argument
argument.
is that we can't because the situation is too difficult
It's
because
different. It's a different situation.
geographical like situations or whatever. I disagree.
I mean, I think I think it's a bad argument because you're trying to compare what Bronze Age, Stone Age, not Stone Age, Bronze Age and Iron Age type people to modernity.
Well,
And
people are people. It doesn't really matter what age
no,
that
it
they live in.
does.
They're very
No, I'm
different. They're
sorry.
very
No, I'm
different.
sorry. It does.
Like,
It does matter. If
not different, but
I'm
there are
sorry, it does
very
matter.
few differences
It does
between
matter.
humans that existed
No,
years
Mike.
ago and humans that exist now.
No,
Like
Mike.
emotions are
No,
still the same.
we're not talking about individual
Like
humans. We're
people's
talking about.
positions are still the same. It's not. It's. I don't. I don't understand. I feel like that's a weak argument.
We're not talking about individual humans. We're talking about cultures. We're talking about a
Yeah,
collective.
I am talking about
how they
culture.
organize, right? We're not talking about like, okay, humans back then had human emotions and humans today have emotions and therefore the same. No, I'm talking about African American culture is totally different than what was going on in and around Egypt in the Bronze Age. I mean, it's just totally different. It's an even totally different environment. When you're talking about like desert environment,
Okay, I don't know. For me,
it-
for some reason, it sounds like you're doing like some splaining or whatever as to why we can't get on, why we can't get together.
we can't get together because we're not a
things
real people.
get things popping. It sounds to me like
There's
you're
nothing
doing some
identifying us to
splaining.
work
It's like,
together,
well,
though.
like, well, we can't do it because like we faced a very different situation, and so
I mean,
we
we
can't get
do.
on. We can't get on code because of that. So
I mean,
I disagree.
that's the truth. That's the truth.
What
Look,
you do.
that's the truth. When it look, how many black people are in this country? There's 40 million, and that's including immigrants. If you take the black immigrants away, it's probably like around 35 million. ADOS, FBA, black people who were, who have their lineage from slavery. How many white people in this country? Like 200 something million. How many Hispanics? You know what I'm saying? And then look at who controls all the life sustaining institutions. And on top of all the psychological stuff that we have going on in our
Well,
community,
but I mean, like, if
it's
you
a
want to do
wonder we
that,
made
we
it
can
this far.
parallel that with like ancient Egypt as well,
Yeah.
because in ancient Egypt, it's not like the nobles who lived in the area controlled everything totally anyway. So it's a very similar thing. Just because they're closer in proximity, the dominant society, the argument still stands. Like I
Yeah,
don't
but
know where you're coming
Egyptian
from
people,
with that.
all Egyptian people saw each other as Egyptian. We're a multicultural
Yeah,
society.
all Egyptian people, but that doesn't mean that their captors were that far off, or their parents, literally in some instance, were
What do you
that
mean
far off.
What do you mean they're captors?
And remember, like, despite what many black folks want to say over here, a lot of white folks are our parents. If you go back in your lineage long enough, if you're light skinned enough, and my dad was super light skinned,
You don't even have to be light skinned enough.
I'm pretty sure you have some white people in your family somewhere.
You don't even have to be. You don't even have to be light skinned enough. You could be a dark skinned person who exists today. You can have a
Well,
white.
yeah, I mean, yeah, it doesn't have to do. It doesn't specifically have to do with light skin or dark skin. The only point that I'm trying to make is that, man, hey, man, listen, over here we are just a group of mixed people. We really are.
I mean, that's the only point I'm making is that we're not African, and we don't have certain cultural cues that will bind us together. We're not organized in that way. I mean, we just aren't.
I don't. I know what you're trying to say, but my example, I feel like the example is fair enough with
No, it's a
the
bad
Egyptians
example. It's a
not
bad example.
feeling like this
Totally different
this
timing.
group of others. If anybody should feel like a group of others in the entire world, it should be Black Americans.
Yeah, I don't know if that's.
I don't think it's a bad example. How is it a bad example?
Because
you just tried to explain it, but like I feel like
because it's
you
two
haven't done a
different
very good job
scenarios.
explaining.
I mean, I don't know how else to explain it. It's two different scenarios. I mean, how can you compare?
You're saying it's a different scenario. I'm saying that there's no two scenarios in history are the same, though, brother.
Yeah, but you also admitted earlier in the conversation that our particular situation is pretty unique in history.
It's unique, but again,
very
you're like
clear
you're
population
like
is
the last
free
time we
and it
spoke,
gets
you were coming up on talking about this whole black fragility thing, and I'm like, well, I don't know. That kind of seems like what you're doing right now.
How is it black fragility? I'm just
Stop worrying about what the
I'm just admitting
situation
the truth.
was.
I'm just
Stop
admitting the
worrying
truth.
about how we got here, man. Get the shit together.
That's not how that works, bro. That would make no sense.
Man,
bro.
that's not how that works. Okay, man. All
Go
right,
ahead.
brother.
Because I think I know what you're. I think I know what you're
I'm
gonna say.
good, man.
I think I know what you're gonna
Just because
say.
you're in a bad situation, but I mean, if most people are okay with a situation, if it's not the worst, people are like, okay, I can just keep dealing with it. That's probably how most black people are like, it's okay. I mean, I have a house, and I'm not a slave. That's good enough.
Thank you. Yeah, see, that's the thing, is that it goes back to the civil rights era. There weren't enough people who were okay with being uncomfortable to make their own thing. Well, whether it be nationalism, whether it be black institutions, whether it be black businesses or whatever, there weren't enough people. Most black people are integrationists. Now, you can fight against that if you want to. My advice to you is just to find the people who think more like you, but it's not going to be most black people. It just isn't. So that's not me. That's not black fragility. That's just the truth. That's the truth. I'm just telling the truth about what I see black people as, well, what they are today.
One thing I'm not trying to. One thing here. Get something straight. I'm not trying to advocate trying to find this group of people or that group of people, because I'm not coming at this from like an FBA standpoint. I'm merely presenting what the problem is and saying that, hey man, if enough people wanted to get it together, we would get it together. That's the only point
They're
I
not
tried
enough.
to make
It's not enough
from the beginning. And now you're essentially kind of sideways agreeing with that, being like, well, there's not enough people, but okay, so now you're changing the argument, you're moving the goalposts.
How am I moving the goalposts when I'm agreeing with you? There's not enough people.
Yeah, you are. You are moving it because now your argument is different. Your argument with that, argument at first was, oh well, it was a completely different situation because we got brought over here on ships from different parts of the day, from across the seas, and because of that, it's a bit different situation. And now now you're like, well, now you're not going to find enough people to get your argument has now changed.
It's not. It hasn't changed. You brought up a different. Mike, it hasn't changed. You brought up a different topic, so now I'm talking about that topic.
Again. Listen, the only argument that I'm trying to make is this: you're saying that because our situation is so unique to us over here, then that's the reason why black folks can't try to get things together. And I'm like, well, at some point, people need to be like, well, shit,
wait, before
Mike, dangerous to us.
Mike,
so
Mike, before you
kind of need to get it together.
Mike, before you continue, Mike, before you continue.
You can argue against that.
Mike, hold on for a second. Mike,
need to do that.
Mike, hold on for a second.
You kind of need to do it.
Mike, hold on for a second. Before we continue, because I think what happens is when we have these conversations, we'll say stuff, and then you might say something. I'm thinking something totally different when you mention that phrase. Define what you mean by black people. Hello?
Oh, isn't that kind of like my point? I mean, when I'm saying black people, I mean everybody over here that could be identified as somebody who is black. Meaning that, hey man, look, if you get pulled over, someone's going to associate you with being black. They're going to look at your skin color and they're going to be, oh man, you're black. And then furthermore, to add on to that just a little bit, I do mean what Tariq Nasheed would call foundational Black Americans. Because
So
a
we
lot
are
of
talking. So we are talking
do
about
not
that.
agree with us.
So we are talking about that. Then we're talking about Black people specifically who've been created, or not created, but we've been enculturated in the United States.
Yes, we are talking about what,
Now, we're not
again,
talking about all Black people throughout the
we're
world,
not
right?
talking about essentially all Black people that are in the United States. But again, we're still the majority over here. What Tariq and other people call foundational Blacks, we're still the majority here.
You talking about majority of Black people or majority in general? I'm assuming you mean majority. We're still the majority.
Yeah, over here in the United States, foundational Blacks are still, by and large, like the largest
Black population in the United. Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
the Black. Okay,
the
again,
reason
the Black population here in the United States is primarily composed of what other people would call foundational Black Americans.
Yeah. So the only reason why I wanted you to define it is because look, I'm not one of these people who thinks that Black people can never get it together or whatever. In fact, we've got it together in history. And if anything, I would say Black people, like if you want to talk, even just globally, not just in the United States, I think Black people are like in a dark age right now, in comparison to other cultures. But it's not always been that way. So I'm not saying it can't be done. What I'm saying is it can't be done within the belly of a beast in the United States.
Oh, well, okay. Well,
That's
hey,
what I'm
well,
saying.
listen, actually, hey, I'm not gonna fully disagree with you on that sentiment.
That's all I've really been saying. That's all I've really been saying this entire time.
Belly of the beast is because you got a bunch of people, going back to my argument, like, hey man, you got a bunch of mercenaries, a bunch of people who don't care. You got a bunch of people who are scared to say what they believe. Like, it's just true. Now, and again, so like I won't deny you that, but again, I never denied that. Hey, man, I never said that we were gonna get it together. I'm not arguing that we would get it together. I'm saying that it's been done in history, and if we wanted to get it done, we could get it done. That was my argument from the beginning.
And all I'm saying is go look at why certain groups in history succeed compared to other groups, and why other groups don't succeed. There's a myriad of different factors as to why. A lot of it is based on
again, the whole
and when you start comparing, and when you start
observably true is another thing.
Why
is okay? That's
can
cool.
I just finish
that's all well and fine.
Well, let me just finish my point. Let me just finish my
What
point.
we are seeing is another thing.
I just want to finish my point. The point I mean is when you compare the reasons as to why certain groups may have success in the past, and you compare them to our situation now and the environment we live in now, this isn't an environment for success. And to the extent that we could do it, because I'm not saying it's impossible, the changes would have to be so drastic in our so-called community. I don't think most people would be for it. Because we haven't been enculturated that way.
Again, I'm actually gonna steal one of Tariq's arguments here. Tariq Nasheed's arguments. Like he would say something like, well, no matter where you go, you're going to be facing white supremacy, and that's not really a cop out, because we've seen the influence of what this government and what other Western governments have been able to do in African nations, not just African nations, but other nations as well.
Yeah, well, all I'll say is to that is, again, we're a minority population who don't control any relevant aspects of the society, and we're a former slave population. And you compare that to maybe certain African populations. Yeah, they might be on the bottom now, but they're not ruled over by white people. They have their own identity or whatever, and they're the majority population. In 500 years, that if you want to see Black people popping, it's probably going to be in Africa. It probably won't be in the United States. I mean, there's no way of knowing that for sure. I'm just saying, if you look at how things are kind of playing out right now, throughout, even globally, it's looking like that's going to be more of the case. But I could be wrong. Maybe there's going to be a resurgence of Black consciousness in the Black community. I doubt it. But maybe that'll happen.
No, well, I mean, again, I stand by my argument, and until or unless I see something different. But in general, like I respect your position. I'm not going to try to argue that. I do do want to go ahead and chill out. Probably play some card games here or whatever, Hearthstone. Man, you guys take it easy for the night, man. You
All
brothers
right,
go
man.
easy, man.
All right, you too, man.
Take it easy.
Yep.
Dang, bro, I was not expecting you to argue with him like that, bro. I was not expecting.
you know, Mike and Derry are gonna come here. We're gonna go at it about something.
I thought he just wanted to talk about the game. Like, what the world was all that? You guys, what?
Well, he's talking about the moral implications of the game, so you know it's going to lead to all that.
I mean, it's not that crazy. I'm sorry. Like, kids play GTA.
Yeah,
And I played GTA. You act like I'm out here like robbing swords, bro. Like
do you think America is in decline?
I mean, yeah, but I mean, there's always been games like, dude, you grew up with Mortal Kombat where they're just freaking pulling people's heads off. Like, come on now.
There was a lot of outrage behind that game too.
I mean, yeah.
There's no outrage. Is there any outrage behind this new game?
No.
That's all he's saying.
People are maybe getting mad about the developer because he just made a ton of money off of like a basic game. They make it make. I mean, maybe about that.
But that's all he's saying. That's all he's saying. There's a decline across the board. You know what I'm saying? And if something like that is getting that much praise or whatever, I'm not going to sit here as an individual and say that he's wrong or whatever. But he's talking about on a macro sense, because it's not just that by itself. When you look at all the other things, it's like, dang, it's like, wow, this is what is what's the zeitgeist. Is that the zeitgeist of the time? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I can figure a ton of indie games that's been popular recently. They're not by AAA studios. Like the games, you can look at the games like, this is not a AAA studio game. Like, yeah, most of the indie games are popping off.
But the argument wasn't about whether it's indie. The argument was about why is it the second most popular game on Steam? I think there's a meme. Personally, I think there's a meme aspect to it, and it probably is kind of fun to play with your friends. But also, I mean, I think it is kind of telling of the times, like of the degradation of culture in general. And then I think a good counter to my argument, though, and maybe even Mike's argument, is does every civilization sort of idealize the past and think the past was better or more positive, or
it's always been like that, bro. No,
you see what I'm saying? So
that's just a humanity thing, bro.
Yeah, I'm aware of that.
Imagine be like, oh no, we born the wrong generation, bro. I'll be like, bro,
yeah,
you have AC. What are you talking about, dog?
Yeah. So I'm aware of that too. Like I don't want to sit here because I think your point is valid. Like, yeah, we did have games like Mortal Kombat. I mean, we did. I mean,
because it started. Violent games started then. I mean, it's like
pretty violent.
Improved over time. Like, I mean, violent games has always been a thing, and I'm like, people be acting like there's a link between like mass shooters and violent games, but that's not necessarily true when you look at the statistics.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Media in most senses don't really affect it. There are some media that do that, but most media doesn't affect people to that degree. Usually it's an entertainment thing.
I disagree with that.
Do some kind of fantasy. But
I disagree with that. I think media does affect people. I just think it's more subtle.
Not to that extreme degree.
Exactly. I just don't think it's that extreme in most cases. I mean, it might be.
Like, it won't affect them to the point where they're gonna start like killing people like they think they're in the game. They're still gonna keep some human obligation. They'll be like, I'm gonna do my thing when I play my game, but when I go back into my job, I'm gonna be a normal person.
Yeah.
Like they can kind of keep. It might affect them, but it's like they can keep a separate reality. But I mean,
I mean more subtle, like when you talk about like mainstream news media, promoting half truths and half lies.
You're definitely right about that. Yeah, I guess
I think in that way. But when it comes to like entertainment and video games, that can also have an effect. It's more subtle, too, but not as much. Like I don't think most people who play a violent game are gonna go out there and be more violent and kill somebody, or if they see.
Yeah, it doesn't happen in most cases.
Yeah, I don't think. So I think those extreme cases are rare, but people live through the extremes, like, or they. I won't say they live through the extremes, but they kind of get a gauge of the times through the extremes. So if there's a mass shooting, right? People go like, man, what's wrong with people? Why is it? We didn't have that many mass shootings when we were younger, but when
I mean, it's not necessarily they weren't happening in America. They were happening in definitely third world countries. Let's be honest here.
Yeah.
But I mean, America is definitely they're great. I mean, just look at the state of New York, bro. Like, man, they're trying to go on the subway. You might just get robbed or beaten up. Just trying to go on the subway now.
I just think there's nothing that. What are we what's our goal as a country?
There's no American dream. I always keep talking about, like, as somebody who's as Gen Z, there's no goal. It's literally just to hopefully survive. You know, at this point, it's like a get as much money as you can, get rich. You know, it's always a quick scheme, basically. Like, especially with the way TikTok roast to kids now, to be like, oh, you take the drug or whatever and just get super buff super quick. Don't worry about lifting no weights. Get that money real quick. Do what Andrew Tate did and scam people or whatever. You know, and it's like, definitely a lot of morally wrong things are at the top of the list of how, you know, that's the quick way, and the quick way is the right way.
And to kind of like, because when I ask you, okay, do you think society is on decline? You know, when you really start researching American history, man, America in general is kind of scammy.
I mean, it's always been kind of bad to some degree. It's just we have like a bigger layer. There was one point in time where we had like a really good like layer coat on that we kind of hide.
I don't know, because like if you really look at the time period of American history starting from 1776 up to now, there was a good period in part of history where you know, most people were basically peasants. It wasn't until like the 40s and the 50s where the middle class was really the large middle class was really created. Men like regular men like who weren't landowners didn't get to vote until like the 1800s or something like that, and women didn't get to vote.
Most people are technically mistreated for most of humanity. Really think about it.
So it's like
that's why black people are satisfied what they have now. It's like, bro, I got a house. What do you mean fight more? What do you mean I'm already living a decent life? Like, I'm not about to.
And I think that's how most black people probably see it. I mean, you know, if you go talk,
they're living better in comparison to most black people in history. To be honest, you count all the freaking slaves. So I'm like,
and that's how they. That's how they
what you have.
I agree,
and
that's
like,
how.
Why keep fighting for to be uncomfortable when you have the only time period to be comfortable? Like,
I agree.
As a human, like, we have so much more freedom.
It's hard.
It's time period. It's like, it's crazy.
No, I agree. It's hard to get people out of their comfort zones. This is kind of what I was trying to tell Mike. It's like, okay, well, usually when people kind of galvanize and come together like that, either they did it because they just have such a long history of culture where they okay, we do this because we're these people, and even if we don't know how that first started, for whatever reason, they've just been doing the same thing for a long period of time,
or they have nothing to lose, bro.
Yeah, or they have nothing to lose. Yeah, like
I'm sorry, you need to make that man watch Andor, bro. Make that man watch Andor season 1. He'll understand.
Yeah, or they have nothing to lose. Well, you know, black people may be on the bottom of this country, but like you said, if you look at
we're living better than anybody in a third world country.
Yeah, to other people, they're like, look, if I got a home, I got something to eat or whatever. You know, now it's not what I want for black people. I want us to have self-determination. I think we should have our own. Whatever.
To third world country people, we are considered rich to them. Like,
most black people aren't like that. They just aren't. I mean, and I think I just think that's the reality. Like, we got to look at the reality.
If you look at it from a global point of view, we are still considered wealthy to a third person. I'm sorry, like the third world person, we're very considered. Like, when you go to like Taiwan or something like that, bro, we are rich in comparison to like the average Taiwan person.
Yeah. But I see where Mike is coming from. Mike is like, look, if you want to do anything greater than what we are now, we have to start thinking about blackness, the black community, and all that stuff differently.
Individuals just split off, though. Like, individuals
I agree.
who have greater potential, they're like, nah, I'm not going to stick the whole thing. I'm just going to split off.
I agree. And then we're not just that, but we're not as unified as we once were.
Yeah.
We're just not as unified anymore. For a number of different reasons, we're just not as close of a people anymore. Except for when something bad happens, then we'll all kind of rally together. But when it's time to do real shit, you know, when the spotlight's not on you, it's hard to get black people to move. You know, it just is. It just is.
Like, why would you move out of your comfort zone? Like, things got to break down way worse in America.
Well, it goes back to what we saying. If you want to do something greader as a people, then you do have to get outside of that comfort zone as a people.
There's no way you convince the people here to do that, bro. Like,
I don't think you can convince them either, because I just think I think black people are, for the most part, I'm not saying, you know, always, are content. Like you said, if you can get a home now, all this is starting to get worse, not just for black people, but Americans across the board, you know, because I just think America in general is in decline. But, you know, if you got a decent place to live, you got a car to drive, you know, you got a family or whatever, you know, why would you give that up? You know,
that's still like the basic American dream right there. You know, it's still to some degree, you know, like most of my generation believe in that, but it's like to a certain degree, that's still the principle of what America was. And if you can somewhat get that principle, most people are going to be like, I lived an okay life. You know, it's satisfying, you know? And I feel like once people get that satisfying point, they're just like, I don't need more. You know, there are always humans that want to achieve more, but that's not majority of people. I feel like a lot of people are okay, or especially from the jobs that work. A lot of people seem okay with just working just a bare minimum job. You know, as long as they get the bills paid. I don't know how people are okay with the bare minimum, but a lot of people seem okay with that from the people I've talked to over the course of time. A lot of people just seem okay with just living the regular family life, you know, just regular neutral standard humanity life, you know.
Yeah. All right, man. I guess we'll call it quits. We actually went over to 10 or whatever, but interesting conversation. That was definitely the shooting the breeze part of of it.
I guess if you're gonna get political, bring him on here.
Yeah, but we didn't get too political. We were actually, it was all still in the context of Black people promoting Black media. Particularly
that doesn't really happen at all. To be honest with you.
See, that's the thing. It's like, it's almost like, if a Black person creates something independently, and if it's of quality, it's because it hasn't been ordained by the larger society or larger media, even larger Black media. It's hard to get people to move on it. You know what I'm saying? I'll give you a good example that I always use as an example. You know that artist guy who I don't like, or I don't like his art. I don't know about him. I don't know. I don't know enough about him whether I like him or not. That Bass Squad or Bass Squad or whatever his name is. And I ask people honestly, like, because I think his art is trash.
You always talk about that guy. Right?
Yeah, his art. I think his art is trash. I just think it's trash. But I personally think that if white people didn't vouch for that guy and kind of lended their clout to him, which helped him grow to fame, if he was just a regular Black dude out on, like, say if he was a bum out on the street or whatever, right, and he was doing that type of art, most Black people, they would just walk right by it.
I mean, it's like only once you made it, and all of the Black people, let me get on that once you start getting good.
Because a lot of it's based on clout too. A lot of it's based on who you know. I hate it. I hate that it's that way, but it's just who you know. That's
just the way the system is. That's why none of us have made it, man. Because we're not popular enough to even get seen. Especially the algorithms nowadays. I'm like, even if we all made our best work, right? The algorithms be like, man, I'm not gonna recommend you to nobody, bro.
I'm not.
We could make the best artwork piece in the world, and that still wouldn't work. We could make the best animation in the world, and the algorithm would be like, nah, I don't care about you, dog.
I'm not gonna lie. I think that the algorithm is much better on Rumble. I get much more play on Rumble than on YouTube. I recently created the channel, but we just get way more views, way more engagement. But it is what it is, man. You just got to find your way. I think Mike is in the process of doing that.
Shout out a niche or whatnot. I don't know how to do that. I don't know.
Shout out to Mike though, because the good thing about what he's got the first part. At least he got the project done. The project is done. It's finished. Now it's a matter of working out how to get people to notice it, and that's a whole other ball game. To me, it's the annoying part, but you got to go through it.
Yeah, I would say
he's out there doing it. He's doing it. Remember, the show was supposed to happen in South. He's going to have one in New York. I think he already had one in New York, and I think he's about to have another one in California. So he's doing it, man. He's doing what he needs to do. He has to get out there and basically promote it. But it's his first work, so we don't know how that's going to work out. Very few people hit it off with the home run on their first work. I hope he does. I hope he does. You know what I'm saying? Or his first because he's done other work. His first full-length feature film, I should say, because he's done other stuff. Mike has done plenty of other things. But so it's just a matter of getting out there, and he's doing it. He even said he's going to do more on social media, which is awesome.
Yeah, we're coming to he's talking about that social media influence thing is probably the best way to go about doing it, because it's like that's kind of the route we have to go, right? Like, especially on the whole AI thing, just posting art isn't good enough, right? Like, people want to know more about me and my art, right?
Yeah.
Like, why do I do art? What is the inspiration behind the art? Actually, me talking about it. It's not just showing up. It used to be a point in time you could just show a pretty image that was good enough.
Yeah.
But I've seen over the course of time, the internet's changed a lot. Like, people want to see you talk. Like, there'd be like artists worse than me technically being popular because they just talk. Yeah,
because it's people want to see the personality behind it.
So it's like the whole industry
which is bad for a person like me, because like when I work, I like to be I don't like being distracted by a whole bunch of shit. Like, I'm trying to get some something done.
That's why you can always talk over after you make it.
That's true. You could do it over, but look, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. running social media sites, that's a lot of freaking like, dude, you would think, okay, all right, I'll create the YouTube thumbnail. It don't take that long. Look, man, it's a lot. It goes a lot of work goes and is involved in it, man. Because you gotta make the YouTube thumbnail. You gotta do all the hashtags. You gotta, yeah, you know what I'm saying. You gotta share it to all the different social. Now there's some programs out there that allow you to share it to multiple sites at once. But then there's always like this little idiosyncrasies that no particular social media site is exactly the same. Like for instance, Rumble uses commas, and then YouTube uses hashtags. It's so annoying. But the cool thing about AI though is AI just automatically changes it for you, whereas before you had to do it individually. You know that, so that was kind of annoying. I think some of the word programs, you know, you could take the thing in there and you could replace all the comments with like a hashtag, but it's just easy to do with AI now. But yeah. All right, man, let's call it quits here. See you again next Friday, 8:00, same time or whatever. How you like the new graphic?
Hey, it's pretty cool. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, for I guess the resources are low because this should be animated. Is it? Can you see it animated right now?
You see, you talking about everything shaking around, all the little dots, everything.
Yeah.
You talking about the Jumbotron, like the off air?
Everything Jumbotron.
I see the off air ones. Everything in the. Oh yeah, I see it now. Yeah, everything's like moving around. Yeah, I see it.
Because on my end it's not animated. I guess my computer is like, okay, there's just too many resources.
I mean, I see it at my thing. I see all the like little lights that like flash around every once in a while.
Okay, cool. All right, cool. Yeah. I'm trying to update the look of the show.
Yeah, so people have more to look at whenever they look at our stream. Yeah, you gotta keep that attention nowadays. You know, especially
eventually I'm going to try.
Like that.
Yeah, and I'm updating it little by little. I'm going to get a better mic, get a better camera, get a better backdrop. I got a marker board up there still in the box that I bought from Amazon that I need to put up, so I'll probably put that up eventually. But yeah, all right, man. I'll see you next week.
We're gonna get some more ramen from that one place, man.
Dude, if Mike's show would have went through, I was gonna go after the movie because the show was at 6 p.m. And I don't know if he would have had to leave right after that, but if he didn't have to leave, I was
make a date and tell Dave, man.
Yeah, I was gonna treat him to that. That place was good as hell. Yeah, I know.
Man, make a day or something, man.
Yeah, that shit was delicious.
I mean, we technically could watch after. We could. I don't know if you want to go back.
Yeah, we'll do it. Yeah, we can do it after Sinners. Yeah, we'll do it after Sinners. Yeah. That shit, it was expensive. That shit was good as I don't know what, man.
It was good. It was worth it.
Yeah. All right, man. I'll see you next week.
All right, man. I'll just keep making more heads, and I'll work a little more in the Dragon Care. I got to figure out what I'm going to do with that clothing. I don't. I got to play around with it. I don't know what I'm doing. Like that's one thing.
Try to find some fashion magazines online. Or just go to Google and type in.
Yeah, because I don't want to copy outfits exactly. That I didn't make a unique character. I copy outfits exactly. It's like making new outfits. I've always.
Well, you don't have to copy. Go find yourself make an artboard, and you pick little pieces that you like from each outfit, and you kind of put it together.
That's what I did. That fourth one, the one you liked the most. That was the one I really just. I was just playing all the outfits. I'm playing around. Like, I'm just put an outfit too that I like. See what I do. That's kind of what I'm doing already. Just making a ton of outfits. That's my goal. I know it's a crazy goal. And I know I'm going to be losing money. My goal is to make 20 offers as a character, right? Just overboard whoever buys it. Just overboard them with just so much content to the point they want to buy, right?
20, that's a lot, man. Limit is to like 5, dude.
If I do 5, nobody's going to buy it though.
Well, what's the average?
3. You don't go more than 3. There's some avatars only have like 1. Right? It depends on how high quality the avatar is. Right? If it's a high quality avatar. It'd be like 1 outfit.
Yeah, but you're gonna be putting all this time into it, and it's just like, I
mean, it's probably never gonna sell. But that's the thing, you know.
Yeah, so why make 20? Just do like 5. So you get your practice, and you're doing a little bit more than the other person. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I still got a long ways to go if I can really compete with selling really anything as far as that goes. So I mean, there's not really a whole lot I can do. I'm just kind of in a lower state right now, you know. It's not. I'm kind of limited, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know what you really. I don't know. Like, what are you even supposed to do when you're kind of in a state like this? So you can't. If you wanted to, you can't compete at the highest level. Like, what do you do?
Create, man. Create. You said it. Like, look, Homeboy made his game. It definitely don't look the best, but he put it out there. You just gotta look, man. Not most of your things you do aren't going to be a success, right? But you know those stories where people where they tell their success story and it almost seems like they did it overnight. But when you actually start researching, it's like, no, man, they had plenty of failures, and their failures led up to the success, and they learned along the way. So keep creating.
Oh yeah, I'm working on my story too. I'm still doing a lot of work. At least I got some cool concepts.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna be doing tomorrow. I'm gonna be doing some writing.
Yeah, I need to write my story too.
Writing, and I'm actually gonna be doing some hand-on drawing on my on my drawing table to get away from these computers for a while.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do a full scale. I'll see if my mentor thinks of the concepts I make. I made like 3 concepts so far, three different ways the story can go. I'm keeping it with 2 characters right now, with 2 or 3 characters. I'll keep it small.
For the visual novel.
Yeah, if anything, I'm gonna keep it just one room. And if people like that, I'll be like, man, I'll make the rest of the game. If not, I don't know.
So basically, make like a little demo.
Yeah, I'll make it so you kind of just explore one room, and your goal is to get out of the room. And after you get the room, the game just ends.
Yeah, but it's like a good start. You can create your visual style, give them an idea of what the game would be like, rather than
that's probably what I'm going to start doing. Because I have a couple story ideas. I could just do like one small part of it and see kind of what do people like the most.
Yeah.
If people really like the story, I'll make the whole game. If not, then I don't know. I mean, I might just continue to make the whole game, because you don't. It's my first project. It's probably bad no matter what I do. So I think it's probably better to finish it all the way. But I mean, let's just make a demo and we can go from there.
Yeah. All right, man. We'll talk next. We'll probably talk before then, but the next show will be.
Aren't we seeing Sinners yet?
That's right. The next show will be about Sinners.
What day are we seeing it? And what's
if it's on the 18th, I think isn't the 18th Easter?
No, that's Friday, bro. That's literally the 18th is literally Friday.
When is Easter?
That should be that's that Sunday. That's the actual Sunday, the 20th.
Okay, so Easter's on the 20th. Okay.
Did you want to watch on Sunday?
No, let's go that Friday. Let's go that Friday. Let's go that Friday. In fact, since it's on Friday, we could probably.
At least you put it on Friday. So I don't have to worry about going to work tomorrow. Okay, cool.
Yeah, let's do it on Friday.
I was like, man.
Yeah, we're not doing it Thursday. Let's do it on Friday, and I guess we'll just do the show on Saturday instead. I mean, we could technically do it that same day, but if we're gonna eat and all that, we're gonna be tired. We're not gonna want to do the show. Yeah, we're not gonna want to do the show. I was thinking about doing one for Mike, like we review Mike's movie.
I mean, we probably should. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't review it, but we did watch the trailer and we kind of promoted it a little bit.
I mean, we could review our stuff, at some point, once Demetrius makes his thing, once I make my thing, once you make your thing, we can take a review on all our things.
Yeah, my big thing right now is, man, there's so much I want to do. I still can't really decide what I should put most of my efforts into.
I just got to focus on training myself. That's my main problem. I literally can't create what I want. That's kind of my problem. Because
if I work on this animation, which I've kind of been doing it with the character design, but if I go hardcore on it, that's all my free time.
But I'm like, this is really your only way in. I'm like, you put too much work into it. I'm like, for you and what you're trying to do, I'm like, this might be your only way in. I mean, you got an interesting story, interesting art design, everything, and you already put a lot of hours into it. Like, this is the kind of product I would tell you, you're kind of at a point where you can't afford to quit. You just put too much into it. That's kind of
Well, it wasn't really so much about quitting. It was about more like, it was more like, focus on maybe some smaller projects. You know what I'm saying? That I could get out quickly, rather than
the small projects for.
It would be like those little short horror story things I was going to do.
Oh yeah, that technically could. It depends what your plan is here. Yeah, because you make something big
like
that.
The plan was to narrate them, do a couple art pieces for them, and then make a new YouTube channel for the horror stories. And it'd be like a little anthology type of thing, like Twilight Zone type of thing.
And I mean, you could always do like an animation or devlog too. If you'd rather not do the short story thing, but you still want to make content, do a devlog of what you're making. Once you get through with that piece, and you could take plenty of commentary from all these videos you've been making.
I see what you're saying.
Just that one character sheet. You could be uploading. Okay, character 1. This is I'm going to tell you a little bit about this character, and this is me drawing the character because you definitely have footage of drawing the character.
Yeah, I gotta start doing that. And you're right about using OBS instead of using.
I'm telling you, bro.
Because that should be lagging like I don't know what, dude. I'm like, what the hell, man? So yeah.
Yeah, so definitely start a devlog for sure. I don't know if that's the route you want to go. If you go 100% that just a devlog thing. If not,
I was already kind of. Remember, I was telling you about the other YouTube channel I want to make called Lucent tutorials or Lucent reviews. It'd be
Bro, you
it's
told me
something.
you gotta narrow down what you want to do, bro. You know,
Yes, I
this
said
kind
I
of
got
stuff.
so many ideas. It's like, where do I begin? But I'm just really looking more and more like I need to really focus on this, finishing this Orchard again as animation.
If it was me, that's what I would choose for you because you already put so many hours into it. I mean, you already got a lot done. That's the thing. And I mean,
Yeah,
the
a lot
short
of
stories
it.
will
A lot of
work.
it is done. Yeah.
And I'm like, if you advertise that, I mean, I wouldn't be able to see why that couldn't get popular. I mean, you got a good art style, you got a good story. I mean, you just have to be able to advertise as the right person. If your animation is good, I mean, you can make it. I'm sorry, you should be able to make it. You know, it's just keep it good animation. That's the question, bro.
And the thing too is that it's not a full length animation. It's gonna be a short.
That's another thing about the show. There was actually a person who did animatic that got pretty popular too.
Yeah.
Yeah, animatics are doing pretty well too. Like just right now is the best time to be an indie person, which is kind of
I
crazy.
agree. I totally agree with that. Yeah.
Indie people are popping off like every day, and it's getting like it's
Well, I mean,
crazy in comparison to any other point in time. Like
it makes sense because such of the mainstream media is crap.
yeah, so I'm like, if I was you, I would focus on the big story and try to get that thing done by the end of this year.
Yeah.
You might run out of time. It might be now that all the tariffs are crap happening, they're like, oh, stop. We actually got to get good people back in our studios now. We can't afford to just keep having all this random trash. So I'm like, you might run out of time. Like definitely the industry is definitely changing. So I'm like,
it's always.
If I was you, I would focus on my biggest project and try to release it now while people can actually blow up. Who knows how algorithms, all that kind of crap will continue to change. Because algorithms is only going to get worse for us, the way I see it.
Yep. Yeah, especially as the
AI.
Yeah, and the mainstream companies go more and more towards the internet. They're going to take up all the space.
Yeah, so if I was you, I would try to focus on that story. That's what I would do if I was you. 100% that story, and not worry about the short stories.
Yeah. But all right, let's get out of here, man. I need to go get something to eat.
All right, man.
But I'll see you next Friday.
All right, dude.